Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Hello and welcome to day 5 of PMCO Pakistan region. This is the spring split indeed, and when it comes to PUBG Mobile Club Open, well, what a wonderful turn of events this has been, and of course it is all thanks to Reno 5 Pro. With that, I'm your host Blora. Joining me is going to be none other than Ocean once again.
Thank you very much, Blora, and thank you very much for the audience as well. You know, they have been with this journey right from the back, and they know how the teams are hustling, how the teams are trying to go with everything that they are, you know, just that they're getting left, right, and center. They are just, you know, going with everything, and now it's one final day for one group, and then for another one.
Absolutely, because again, you talk about the journey. The journey started off 4 days ago. This is day number 5, but where is this going to lead towards? This is going towards PMPL Season 3, where indeed, like I said, this is the Pakistan region from which 3 teams are going to get selected. That will be at the end of course, regional finals, where indeed the top 3 teams will move on towards, of course, PMPL Season 3.
Exactly, just as we were seeing the road, that was obviously a brilliant one. But now, you know, moving with our conversations, we will be talking about the groups as well, slowly and steadily, you know, on those things. But all these players, all these teams, they are looking for those bragging rights in the prize pool.
Absolutely, and talk about the prize pool, you've got a massive $29,200 set up for all of these 32 teams. But in that, of course, the main thing, the main priority is going to be to place yourself in the first, second or third position, because of course all these teams want to be representing their region and want to be the best and showcase the best that they possibly can.
I mean, that's important right now. You know, you have come this far not to lose. Obviously, you have come this far just for one thing, and that is to have the best of the best gameplay. Yours against the entire lobby, be it any other group, be it any other thing. And obviously, you know, you get good points for that, and you brag those points with everything for the whole game.
And talking about points, of course, we do have the wonderful updated point system where indeed first chicken dinner winner will get 15 points, move on to second position holder getting 12 points and third position holder getting 10, but move that all the way down towards 13th and 16th position, well, they get nothing. But one thing that we've noticed throughout these 4 days past Ocean is that even though there are teams that move away from 13th to 16th and are in the lobby, they do end up getting points because of that one kill per point situation.
I mean, one kill, 1 point, that always, you have to increase. You don't have to stop at 1 kill, 1 point. You go for 10 kills, 10 points. I mean, how much more can you just get from that one? You got to grab those opportunities, and that is where you showcase your best of the best dominations. And talking about dominations, again, we have seen all the other things. I'll still be at one thing. For a few groups, this is the last day.
Exactly, because today we're going to be looking at Group A going against Group C, and indeed talk about Group A. You're looking at all of these teams. Team Stoner amongst all of them is going to have to really pick up the pace, because after all, that team is not looking good on the leaderboard. Of course, move on towards the next part of Group A itself. We have C4 Gaming, North Esports, as well as Knockout.
Yeah, talking about the Group C, Immigrants Bliss, Hellraisers, the Royals, and Star Ops are going to be names that are out there, and those names for sure want to dominate. Magnus, Arcadians, Expandables, Esports Nation. So some of these teams would want to do something interesting today. Obviously, they would love to do it if they can do it. But today we have to see where the start actually happens.
Exactly, and again, talking about the few of those teams, Expendables, another team that I do want to be keeping my eyes out for. Again, along with that, of course, is going to be Hellraisers, because they are also not having had a good outing thus far. They will want to showcase a dominating play today. With that, talking about the plays themselves, they will be held on 4 maps back to back to back, starting off with Erangel, move on to Sanhok, and then Miramar, and finally to close the day off, it will be Erangel once again.
Exactly, Erangel, Sanhok, Miramar, Erangel. These Erangels, this Sanhok and this Miramar is last for these groups. Some of the teams from these groups will be making their history today, and some will be, just going down with history, because you don't get any other chance after this one. If you don't make it in the top 6, you're not at a comfortable spot, you will have to wait for another 3-4 months for the next big tournament to just come up. And then obviously what you can do is cheer your favorite teams from this one, because this is important for all the teams right now.
Exactly. Another thing actually, Ocean, is going to be, yes, we know that Group C and Group A are going to be playing their final games. Let's say, because of course we still have 32 teams that are going to be present in the lobby, rather 30 in fact. But talking about that big number, some of these teams are going to end up by the end of the day at such a pace where now their fate is going to be decided upon the next group and how they play tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, a team will be thinking like, we are at 12th position.
Right.
The teams behind us, they have to play, but we are at 12th position. We are comfortable. Right. The teams that play, maybe tomorrow, all of them just start climbing up the road, and all of a sudden, we have seen these things happening previously as well. So this might happen. I mean, this goes down in history. If you do good today, like do really good, that is one of the ways that you can just keep yourself at a really, really easy spot. Otherwise,
exactly. It's going to be a knockout for you, because again, I mean, talking about knockout and moving the conversation in towards the team of knockout, I mean, that is one team that you have to keep in mind that were not looking too good, but the way they just dominated at the end of that day number 1, was just phenomenal. The way they were able to just showcase that wonderful gameplay and bring themselves a chicken dinner and move so much up in the lobby, it is just perfect. Just the kind of play that is required from, of course, the teams that, for example, Team Stoner, Hellraisers, as well as I would want to keep my eyes out towards Expendables as well.
I mean, they just turned the tables around. That's one thing that they obviously did, and they did it perfectly. You just talk about, perfection. You talk about the way the movement was happening from all of these players. So somehow, we would love to see more and more of that happening if it just, goes down to it. So if we just talk about the speculations, we have a lot, but the exhibition that will be happening really soon. Obviously, we'd love to see the first matches going down, and then first, second, third, fourth, Erangel, Sanhok, Miramar, Erangel, as we were just talking about it. So if I want to point out, now today is Erangel versus the previous is Erangel. These teams will play at a really slow pace. Sanhok at a really slow pace. Miramar at a really slow pace. Just because of one thing, right now teams have a lot to lose.
That is true. That is so very true. Again, now talking about the map itself, you're talking about Erangel, and you had, of course, been mentioning that when is that military circle going to be coming in, right? And along with that, talking about the drop locations, we've seen Hellraisers pick that location many times. We've seen ESN pick that location many times. So again, today, maybe the conversation would be that maybe today they bring in a very ballsy curve and play a very different game altogether.
Probably. But, they can, but I don't know if it's right experimenting right now. Like it's okay experimenting right now, or it's not, because that's only one thing. We'll be jumping into the game for sure, like in a while, and we'll be seeing how the game actually just moves down with everything, because every player, they have to be with themselves.
They certainly have to be with themselves. But before we get into the game itself, let's just get ourselves acclimated to how the leaderboard is looking like, what the overall ranking amongst all the 30 teams are looking like. And in that, of course, Magnus Esports has just been obliterating the chart, where indeed they've only got one chicken dinner, but 65 kills, 65 points right off the bat from those kills itself.
Like, that team has been looking really good with the kill department for themselves, exactly. Placement points as well. Like, they are trying to maintain a balance with everything. Portal Esports, meanwhile, has been following up as well. NFP, if you talk about this team too, chicken dinners for themselves. Team TUF, 1. Grounders too. F4 Star Ops, these teams need a chicken. Obviously, if you're talking about Star Ops, obviously they'll try and climb up forward, Esports Nation. But when we move forward from 9 to 16, I would love to see where those teams just stand out today and tomorrow, because 16 is the borderline for a few teams today.
Exactly, and in that you talk about the 13th position holder, that's going to be BFM Esports, having had that one wonderful chicken dinner, and till now having had 32 kills. They will also have to bring their game up a little bit, because again, from this group right now, when you're talking about Group C and Group A, we saw Magnus that is up on top from Group C, so they are looking very, very comfortable. But again, they will not want to leave that position away or leave it to a situational position where other teams could very well capitalize. If not today, then perhaps tomorrow's gameplay in their favor, and that would imply Magnus would lose the position. And same goes for BFM. They are 13th right now, looking AOK in the top 16, but if they do not end up converting this day into their wonderful outing, they will probably have to fall back, and that is something that no team wants to be even looking at.
As of now, no, they would not, Arcadians, Expandables, these teams have to go for a big climb. Obviously, it's 40 points and 58 points. The difference is just 18 points, but you have to realize that you have to climb, you have to stay there. You have to, you don't have to go down. Right now, if you just go down in these situations, it's never going to be good.
Absolutely, and in that's the name that I was talking about, 27th position holder Hellraisers, and 30th position holder, that's of course going to be Team Stoner with 11 points as of now. Again, not implying that it's impossible. It certainly is possible for them to be able to get, because again, you get 4 games. In those 4 games, if you end up getting decent amount of kills along with some wonderful placement points, you automatically move away from 11 points to easily per game you end up getting like 15 points or 10 points. You're still looking pretty decent, right?
Exactly. Let's have a look at the match as well. The flight path, where the flight path is, and as we will be just moving up forward, we would be knowing that it starts from shooting range to Milta, Power, Prison, Shelter, Mansion, Yasna, Poliana, Rozok School. Good areas. Good at Georgiapol as well.
Oh,
but
yes.
still, like, now military base is already out of the guns. I want to see if a team goes down there, given the fact the flight path is not allowing them.
Absolutely. For now, it is certainly not allowing them or going to be allowing them. But then again, there are going to be certain teams that are going to stick to their rotations that is going to be comfortable for them, for which, of course, we could very well see teams going down towards Quarry or Primorsk as well. But along with that, we already have the first few teams leaving their wonderful, comfortable seats in the plane, and that is, of course, going to be Hellraisers right now, moving on down towards Hospital Georgiapol area from the looks of it. Along with that, we also have Star, who is finally, well, yesterday they started off with 4 players, and today also they have all 4 players working for them, but TS on the other side, Team Stoner, the team that is on the 30th position right now, only playing with 3 players.
Well, Royal, look at that. So Royal is just going to go back to the Zaki side. Star Ops onto Severny. BFM, they are dropping down. NES as well. Pochinki might be up for grabs for a few players out in this run. I don't know, Leo, Fauji and Malkul, they are losing one team right now. They don't have one teammate, so they are 3-man squad. Let's see how it does for Team Stoners.
Exactly. Again, that is not going to be that big a devastation or that big a blow to the side of Team Stoner if they play the cards well. That are going to be, well, don't be that aggressive. Don't get into situations that you do not want to be looking at. And with that, what do we have here? What an interesting turn of events. We've got a circle, first circle coming on, and that is going to be towards the southwestern side of the map itself, with Ferrypier being the center.
Ferrypier is a center, I get it, but imagine the circle goes a bit more south and it happens out here. That's a big stretch, I would say, if the circle goes down onto the military island, but still, we're going to see this as a query circle. That's where the things will be happening. So let's see how the fight just go down, but so far, it's just one team that's comfortably inside the circle, that's Stoners.
Absolutely, that is exactly what they wanted, and right now, as they get themselves dropped, they would probably want to quickly get themselves in a vehicle and move on down towards Ferrypier or even down south. But with that, move on towards Hellraisers right here and they are going to get themselves acclimated with a wonderful loot, and there is no team as of now to contest them. So that's going to be working in their favor. But again, they do need to get themselves set up perfectly for this game right off the bat from game number 1 on this day, because they are also on that final page of the leaderboard. And right here, we're looking at Arcadians, Gambler, and Team GHAZI, who are in the open. They probably did notice a few parachutes opening down towards that compound that was from Gambler, and therefore they are not even trying. Team GHAZI is not even trying to contest for. They do not have any guns from the looks of it for now.
They know it might be a bad news, right? Even if you go forward, you don't know how many people are there.
Right.
You can hear one footsteps, but the backup might arrive like really soon. So you don't know, what thing might just be waiting for you. What monster is in the closet once you open it? That's the thing. That's the thing that just can change a lot of things. But right now, talking about Hellraisers, Ninja. So George Pole is a good area to loot at this moment. Plus, given the fact that as you have to go down the circle, you can easily mark your way. But right on the backside of George Pole, there were a few teams, so that's going to be one more important thing. And right now, Arcadians Gambler just moving up against the players onto their side of Team GHAZI, and the fact that they have to reunite with each other, Arcadians, they are still like not close in a closer proximity.
Absolutely. For now, we're only at 1 minute marker, but the team, the way they've made that drop, working not in their favor. It seems that they are a bit lost in terms of their drops themselves. But talking about Lost, we've got Lost Esports in front of our screens, and Knockout right there, where indeed Lost Myth seems to be wanting to take up a fight, and Knockout certainly should have the information, but there is no retaliation coming in from Knockout, whereas on the other side, Lost Esports' Myth is bringing in that early fight.
Well, upstairs out, and aye, that shot, that did hit him. I mean, he thought he was safe. He thought he was safe. He was like, hey, I need cover, I'm safe. Oh, no, sorry.
Nope. He had his back completely open, and that's, of course, where this guy just completely was able to utilize that information and knock out, bringing in the first knockout on the backside of Myth. Indeed, that is not the gameplay that was expected from Myth, perhaps.
I don't know why I did aye for some reason, but well, that's a face of a mistake, right? That just happened. So
it's just the emotion of the game,
Yeah. And now talking about the hospital area, it's 270 to 300 meters away from the circle, so the players will have to get to those areas as well. I mean, they have to look around for this one, as we are about to hit the 5-minute mark, and the zone has started to for its formation. Unless they lost one player, 3 players are still surviving. Now they have to look on to one thing. I don't understand. Other players were 500 meters away from the circle, and that one player was like 200. Like, why was he away? Like, obviously, he was moving up forward. He should not have stopped there. If he wanted to go forward, he should have moved forward.
Exactly, he certainly should have. And again, you talk about Arc, that we did look at Arcadians on the right-hand side, or rather the eastern side of the map itself, northeastern side. They are separated by miles right now, and they certainly don't seem to be even wanting to come back together from the looks of it. And that could be turning into quite a bizarre situation for the side of Arcadians, because again, you talk about the placement, and you talk about their placement on the leaderboard itself, they aren't really looking that comfortable. But interesting turn of events where they're all making their individual rotations that coming in from the side of Arcadians. Talk about Star and GHAZI as of now. They are also looking pretty comfortable down towards the Savani side, or rather up north towards the Savani side. And as far as the map itself, the information that is being relayed, it is ESN. That is the only team down towards military base once again.
So it's a good thing for ESN, right? Just starting off from military base, they are inside the circle. They can get a hold of this bridge area. Obviously, they don't no team's going to come behind them, but still they can get a hold of that area easily. If they just want to go for a late rotation inside the circle, they will get there eventually. Hellraisers, meanwhile, they started off on Georgia Pole. They are inside the circle at a really good area. Gatkatukweri, they have that contestation for themselves. I want to see if a team actually somehow just wants to go onto the bridge. I want to see a bridge fight even in this circle. It's a rare chance, but that might just happen.
That certainly could happen. And again, I mean, talking about fights themselves, it certainly does look like Lost Esports and Knockout could very well be taking a fight, or it could be C4 Gulfum, who could very well be bringing Arcadians Talha down, because he's all by himself. And again, the kind of approach that Arcadians have had, it is, well, bizarre to me, to be very honest and blunt. But eventually, again, it is their play. And again, move on towards the western side, towards Zarki. It is the side of Royals, who are slowly making their rotation down towards the circle itself. Now, talking about rotations, it is still Knockout and Lost Esports, that will probably be the ones that we shall look at when it comes to the fights, because other than that, all the other teams are looking really comfortable in their own different positions. You talk on towards the Milta Power side, you've got Magnus, who is again all by themselves, nothing around them to contest, and look on towards TE and NES, bringing in those rotations, but they are very, very close now.
They are close now, and you can see Avenger OP and TE Pan just moving on to the closer proximities. But, well, Avenger, they part their ways. They are like, see you again, and they move away from each other. But right now, if you see Pan, he wants to see his opponents onto the other side. He's just trying to find out a good area, if he can, and just, getting together with the teammates. Best feeling in the world, obviously, at this moment.
Oh, yes, indeed. Of course, he did have the information, and there certainly was a little bit of a heartbeat going pumping for Pan, because he did not know where the other team were set up in individual cars, or they had themselves set up in one vehicle itself. If there was a situation like that, well, Pan certainly could have been in a bit of a tricky situation, as he would have wanted to just get out of there, and that's exactly what he chose to do with that. Expendables, once again, all regrouped and reunited, basically looking really comfortable. And with the information that has been relayed by Pan, they are now probably going to be deciding to, well, which direction are they going to be moving towards, perhaps, for now. And with that, we've got a fall damage coming in from the side of Wazir from GHAZI.
All right, well, that thing might have happened, but, well, Iconic takes on the fight against Royal Charlie, and Jeanette finishes the job. So now it's time of LS. They were like, we lost one player, but we still have a fighting chance, and we'll take that chance onto ourselves, and they took that chance brilliantly. But, it's still kind of into the contestation. I want to see if this airdrop gets looted, and by the looks of it, it does. I want to see the circle going down on the military base somehow. I don't know. I would love that. If that happens, I would love that. Imagine if that just happens.
Absolutely. I mean, you talk about ESN, that was the only team that was set up in the military zone itself, in the military base itself, and with that, they have decided to not take the Groza from the looks of it. Is that true?
No, they took the Groza, but AirDrop will show you, the information.
The information inside.
Yeah, it will. But now let's see what happens. All right, well, they try to take a few shots. So Hellraisers, they know how to hold the area, and that's a really good thing. But the thing is, will the grenade connect? That's one of the most important questions, because if it does, it will do damage. But no, by the looks of it, the grenade is outside. Now, a really good thing. What the players can do, it's a gamble. Implicit players are out here. Imagine, because Adnan is all alone. If some player just takes up a vehicle and smashes it with the building, it can be a good 1v1 affair.
And again, I mean, Ocean, you were just talking about it, a bridge camp, and that's exactly the kind of position that we're seeing Hellraisers pick themselves in. And Immobilists probably had the same situational awareness as well, and have therefore decided to just hold on to this compound for now, as they are, of course, in the circle, and they are very, very close to that, well, bridge camp that is set up by Hellraisers. Now, again, the question is going to be, will any of them want to push from the side of, well, Hellraisers? They certainly should not be doing so, but information is certainly going to help out Hellraisers bring this fight into their control for sure.
The best part would be if they see, all right, you can see the players, the player Ninja, changing 6 times to 3 times just for the peak of the scope and everything. Because, you can control recoil better if it's 3 times, but if it's 6 times, you can see the upper areas easily. Well, Royal Paraguay goes down by the play zone, as we could see. So one fight's happening on one area of the bridge. If you cross the first mountain from the bridge, that's where TE versus BFM is happening. So in both the cases, be it the bridge fight or this fight, there's just one thing. You need to knock at least 2 players onto the opponent side, and then only you can push, because that's the comfort zone. You knock down 2 players, the other 2 players have to see, do we revive or do we, control the push or something. So that is the only way you can take these fights in your hands.
Absolutely. You got to put your opponent team in a bit of a tricky situation and give that sort of an affair where indeed they will have to, well, again, make a gamble, and that gamble could work in your favor or theirs, because we have seen 3v1 situations as well, where indeed the push coming in from the team with 3 players, well, it seemed very, very confident, but eventually it's that one lad who's able to clutch it all. So again, it depends on how exactly aware are you of the situation that you're in, and with that BFM Hawk right here, trying to gauge on with the third perspective, the third eye, so to say, and get some more information relayed for the side of his team.
Well, the TPP is always useful in these kind of scenarios. You can TPP helps you sense down what is happening, right? It helps you sense down your opponents. You kind of understand what can go right and what can go wrong. Well, by the looks of it, we'll have to see if the circle, it sounds like the circle might be just going up, but you can never trust the hard shifts of the zone. Look at Arcadians, though. They still have onto the backsides of farm. That means they have a really good open area to play against. Even if a team, even if the circle, just clusters down, they can just go for a late rotation. That will help them. But look at this. From
ESN.
So Pan just spoke something. something happened. Something, 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 something.
And with that something, Hellraisers has taken a fight against the side of Immobilist, and they were up on the top. But interesting turn of event indeed, where you talk about Expendables taking a fight as well into their situation. And that is going to be perfect domination coming in from Hellraisers now. And the push has been brought in. But eventually that has not turned in Hellraisers' favor, as one of the players has been knocked. Another knock coming in. So there is a 1-1 that is going to be perfect in Hellraisers, as well as, of course, the other side's situational awareness as well. But again, now the conversation is, will Scout be able to bring the side of Hellraisers down? Because the push that has been brought in from the side of Hellraisers, Erangel is looking really confident, is looking really comfortable, but he certainly does need a bit more help, a bit more support, because he's down to almost 40 HP. And with that, of course, the HP not working in his favor brings the down, and it is 1v1 situation. Immobilist and Satan is the one controlling the side of Immobilist. They had the house, the push coming in from the side of Hellraisers. Should have had a bit more utilities in there, and there were none. There were none being utilized, and that has resulted in, of course, Hellraisers being the first team sent into the lobby. That was just an ill-timed affair from the side of Hellraisers, but a perfect control of aggression coming in from the side of Immobilist. With that, you move on down towards the circle itself, and it has left the military zone altogether, and will be now moving towards up north, probably Pochinki.
Yeah, that not exactly Pochinki, because you know now Pochinki is also in just one corner of
right?
the
Yeah.
I mean, how can you have a corner in a circle, but it's on one,
That is so true.
it's on one area of the circle. So now the zone has to go with NES, Avenge, and that's the center lines basically. And now, we're talking about the late rotations. That's what they are using up right now, and we'll still have to see how the fights just go down onto the situations. And TE, they have a good area for themselves. All they have to do is pressurize the other teams if they find them in the rotations and pincer down the players. They can get good kill points out in this one. Expandables.
Absolutely. You talk about Expandables, they are certainly looking on for information, and they have a lot of information actually. They know Royals players, 2 players are set up in that small little compound, not a compound, just a small little shack that Royals are stuck in. Of course, it is an open area that is going to be troublesome when it comes to the rotation for the side of Royals. But again, TE, the way Expendables are playing this, it is just phenomenal, because they have onto their left another team, and in front of them, of course, they have the crosshairs set up for Royal. They've got a lot of information, but how exactly will they be bringing this into their favor?
That's true. Well, right now, Pan and Psycho still, just holding on this area. Just like we said, they can get a lot of kills, but they have to play the cards right. Obviously, nothing comes easy, and so does the kills. And kills are the hardest thing. And look at this. That's what we were saying. Clown goes down. Now I want to see what Immobilist does, because Immobilist and BFM can actually sandwich the team if it just comes down to this one. I mean, right now, TE is in the center of both the teams. So, Immobilist, if they want to move, they can. But still, it just comes down to will they? They still got just 1 knock. I told you previously also, you need to get at least 2 knocks in these areas to just move up. So, they got to find a second one. And if that happens together, like 2 players are down, then only is the chance to move. But right now, Circle will also going to be a villain against them.
Exactly. Circle is certainly going to be playing a bit more of a havoc for all of these teams, all 3 of them actually, TE as well as Royals, and of course along with that Immobilist as well. But again, Immobilist and TE, the kind of situation that they're set up in, it is looking a bit bizarre, because TE, even though they do want to push, even though they do want to bring down the side of Immobilist, they do not really have that much of information towards where exactly is Immobilist set up, because earlier they were in the small little house, and now they've moved on down towards the warehouse itself.
So NES, MGS, they have the zone just right now as we were talking. Look at Arcadians. Their rotation was good. They came from the backside of farm, went to the upper Pochinki area, and now they have a good area just for the entry again. I mean, that's brilliant. They are playing good with the circle. Like, they are playing high IQ games with the circle's rotations, and that is going to be helping them for sure. Just a matter of fact, they should not be caught down in the rotations, because that is going to be a crucial one. But right now, Immobilist has also started their movement as they have to get inside the circle. ESN, you can see the players just moving up against right now as well. And now comes the players of Expandables. I want to see how do they rotate, because they again they have a fight against BFM, but sounds like BFM has also left the building.
BFM certainly seems to have left the building, and Immobilist taking a knock right here from the side of interesting NES, I believe that was. An interesting turn of events, because Immobilist certainly were in the middle of their rotation, but they did not realize NES was there to stop them in their points.
Well, Afnan, it does show that he is as a dominating force that he is. But the thing is, the Royals do get eliminated right now, as we can see. So that's one thing. And hi, Hassan.
This
please move.
is bizarre.
Okay, so those were the other players of ES, and then right now C4. So now the thing comes down is how C4 are going to be playing against the areas, because you can see BFM, the rotation did actually just, pay a good visit onto this area, and now C4 has to take up all the fights. They don't have any kills. Obviously, not a lot of teams have kills right now, but it's time to open your bank account if you want to go for the kills.
Absolutely, and right there we are looking at Magnus taking a knock from the side of Oreo, and Oreo has been revived and will be, of course, bringing himself back into the perfect hill control that his team is doing. Of course, on the right hand side of them is GHAZI right behind them, and BFM right here having made a perfect rotation out from the side of TE, have their crosshairs set up and are pushing along the side of C4 Gulfam right here. And Gulfam, we know, is a very strong contender, and when it comes to being pushed against him, he is going to be in control. Right now, of course, this is a very interesting turn of events where, of course, we see a perfect nade coming in, but there is a to and fro situation going on, because of course that grenade that was thrown from Gulfam's side has knocked out BFM's Hawk. But along with that, C4's Akib now just bringing in a perfect turn of events, because the squad is get themselves segregated for this perfect push, bringing down BFM.
I mean, it comes down to Hunter. I mean, he's the first one that will be, in the engagement right now, and he has been spotted. All right, that was a good, brilliant IQ move, but no, Hunter takes down one with him. Akib is still surviving, but the location has been compromised. Shadri onto the other side is on low HP. Terminator taking all the 5-6 on Mustafa as well. Akib, how far can he go with the fights? Hawk is on low HP. Shari is on low HP as well. It's a 2v2, but BFM, 3 players are down. Shari, will you go for the fights or the revivals? That's the question, as Gulfam is on the charts right now, gonna go and take those kill spots. Another one, does he or does he not? He has spot down last player, Shari. Meanwhile, C4, all the players slowly and steadily will be on their feet, but Gulfam, this fight is going to be an important one. The smoke did come down, and look at that. C4 eliminates.
Perfect king of the hill control coming in from C4 Gulfam's side. Of course, it was an initial push coming in from Gulfam's side that gave up the situation of BFM, and along with that, of course, that perfect nade that was used from Gulfam, and with that fight coming to an end, the hill is still in control of the side of C4. With that, the circle making a downward push towards the southern part of Pachinki, and it is once again TS, Team Stoners. They have been perfectly setting themselves up. It's a 3-man army for this side, and they are looking pretty confident when it comes to that circle for now. As you move on towards the side of Star, they are also in control of the entire region around Pachinki.
Star, if we talk about Star's players, all they have to do is take fight against GHAZI and Arcadians. Arcadians, they were looking really good with their rotations right now. I want to see how do they do with the fights, because the thing is, now the circle has left them once again. They always are chasing the circle, but the circle always has some different plans for them. So now they have to take the fights and rotate at the same time, given the fact the zone is going to be arriving in less than 5 seconds, and this is the 5th circle. You know the damage, you know how catastrophic it is, but look at it, the grenade has been locked down. Umar, he does damage though, and he wants to go for the finish. He will go for that one. Look at that M4 Glacier doing all the job, and he has spotted now another one already. He was trying to do good. Oh, the shots were on point, but not exactly. But yes, ultimately, slowly and steadily, that is one thing. I don't know why that's like rhyming scheme just going on. Now Umar has to go forward and take another one. It's one last player surviving, but for how long can it survive? Oh, Umar goes down. It's a 1v1 against Pazin, but can he or can he not do this? I mean, he's just taking down the players, but now this is where it all counts. He does win this fight. Now is the time for revival, but he has to get inside the circle as well. Zone's coming.
Oh, the zone is certainly on top of Arcadians right now. The certain push, and along with that, we move on down towards Magnus's hill, and Magnus now is being pushed from the side of C4, and C4 has a perfect nade coming on towards the side of Magnus, but Magnus already have 2 players knocked down. This is not looking good for the side of Magnus, and C4 is in control of this hill once again and have brought down the side of Magnus, where, of course, keeping and sticking to the name that C4 has, of course, attained, it is going to be King of the Hill once again in favor of C4.
Well, C4, they are holding their grounds in a brilliant fashion, if we just want to talk about it. But now Team GHAZI is moving up forward. Is GHAZI there to break the curse? Is GHAZI there to be the next king of the hill? They spot down one, they do take him down, but GHAZI Jan, look at his HP, he's barely surviving, barely breathing, just not turning himself into a crate. That's his Midas touch. But now, can he or can he not take the fight against all the other players of C4? Because it's just not one player you gotta go against, it's a proper wrecking force that is out here. Akib has 5 kills, he's in a brilliant form, but but no, Mustafa goes down. GHAZI still on low HP. Can he take this fight? No, he does not. He goes down, and now GHAZI's other players, they might have to come forward. I mean, Akib is the one who's actually holding each and every fight somehow.
For now, it certainly is looking like the affair that is in control by C4. But GHAZI, where are the other team members? Where is your support, mate? You're going to need that ASAP, or you're going to be, like Ocean said, converted into a crate pretty soon. But move the conversation towards knockout. Knockout, with all 4 members alive, looking really comfortable. Not a lot of damage, or rather no damage from what I see, onto any of their vests or helmets. So that is going to be perfect approach. And with that, we move on towards Expendables, pushing alongside the side of North Esports. They've already brought down one player from North Esports, and North Esports certainly throwing a bit more of utilities, trying to bring the situation in their control. But Expendables are looking pretty dominating as they're coming up from top of the hill. They will have a better advantage of this.
But it's like 15 seconds and you gotta take this fight, you gotta heal up if your health goes down, and you gotta move inside the circle. So you have to decide, do you go for the placement points or do you go for the kill points? Because the circle's damage is gonna be a lot, and there's another damage. You can see Erangel grenade just doing the damage out here. Now more and more grenades are going down. Maxi, he has an M4, he spots on one player. Oh, that was a brilliant spray. And another one goes down. Pan is the last one surviving. But for how long? He knows he needs to win in this game, like away from this fight, because the circle is going to be the main factor. But the grenades have some other thing in his life. He goes down by the damage 27. Gulfam takes down Maxi. Is this a savior for Pan right now?
Well, it certainly looks like the case, because NES now is trying to make a rotation and flank the last player surviving of Expendables. Of course, Expendables do know where exactly that player came in from, and with that takes a knock. That is from the side of Stoner. This is not looking good. C4 is also bringing themselves up into this fight, but it is interesting where Gulfam is just not moving from that situation, and Leo from Team Stoners is bringing that perfect control into his domination.
No, this is bad. Leo goes down. I mean, the sniper has been taken down. 40 might be the next one to follow up, and KO knockout eliminates the team. We are down to 4 teams, ladies and gentlemen. Akib goes down right now, but well, the damage was done onto the other side as well as NES. They are still surviving, but now Erangel needs a revive. C4 Ahmed, he has to take up a fight against on the other side with knockout. The smoke sprays, they are just coming. As you can see, Ahmed, he was spraying through the smoke area, just trying to find someone, some sort of information, a grain of information in the area, but Arcadian's Fazen, he is away from the fight right now. He does not want a part of this. He just wants the placement points.
Absolutely. He's just keeping himself as the snail approach, as some call it. It is what Arcadians are applying, and that is going to be working in their favor. But with that, the aggression coming in from the side of C4 is not what Knockout wanted, and they have retaliated from down south of this hill, and C4 is looking in a bit of a trouble where once again one of their players is knocked, but the perfect situational awareness in their control is because they are on top of the hill, and that could very well be the detrimental or the wonderful thing that they need, that C4 needs to bring this fight into their control. With that, we've only got 3 teams remaining. Arcadians did try and move along from that perfect position and have, of course, been brought down.
No, Musa has been spotted down, and Musa might be the first one to go down in this situation, as Gulfam is again trying to spot down the players and take him down. As you can see, the HP on the players slowly and steadily going down. Well, talking about Gulfam, you can see here his vest was damaged, Akib's vest is damaged as well, but the guy has 7 kills on himself. Meanwhile, Gulfam, he knows backside is going to be a dangerous one, but Knockout Musa has been taken down by Ahmed. How many kills is this team going to enjoy by the end of the game? That's one of the most important questions. I've been talking about this. They have the circle, they have a good area for themselves, and now the vehicle is going to be the next one to go down. Or the players, I mean, after he has been spotted down as well. Ahmed has 5 on a rampage scale right now. One last player, one last bullet might as well do the job. Will he get the kill, or will Circle get the best out of him? So that's the main question. Can he just actually use the final bullet to nail it in the coffin?
Well. C4 is certainly looking in control, and with that, NES taking an early aggression towards the side of C4 as Gulfam has been brought down from the side of Avenger OP, and Ahmed is not looking good when it comes to his health. It is only going to be Akib who has to retaliate and bring down the side of NES for now.
Look at this, Akib goes down, it's down to one final player. If the fight is just out there, down to Ahmed. Can NES snatch it away? 1v1, but no, Ahmed takes the win in this one, and he has to revive one player, and he has to take this fight. This is going to be a tricky affair. Max is still surviving. Is he going to go for the revive as well, or is he going to change something? A good grenade, but it just overflew a bit. The damage, it's not here. Now it's down to Gulfam and Ahmed again. He spots him out. Maxi goes down. C4 blasts in Erangel.
Absolute perfect dominating play coming in from the side of C4. Just all the players combining their efforts together. Of course, King of the Hill is what they were throughout the game as they brought in one after the other knocks from another team. And what a beautiful play. 31 total points, 16 kills, off of which, again, 5 to 6 of them was just one lad.
I mean, Aki had like 7 kills last time I saw, if anything. So.
Yep.
Maybe, I mean, this is one thing for sure. The MVP that we'll be seeing, that will be from C4 for sure. I mean, the performance that this team showcased, that was brilliant. They had the hill. 3-4 teams tried to contest them.
Yep, absolutely.
Never gave it away.
Never gave it away. They had all the information. They had their players all fanned out and were looking on to different teams. One player per team is the kind of approach C4 had. And again, the name just working in their favor. C4, they were just blowing the force out of this lobby through and through with that. Let's, of course, have a look at the most valuable player.
It's going to be Ahmed. Obviously, 7 kills, just like we were talking about this one. So yeah, Ahmed had 7 kills, 998 damage, almost touching 1000 healing. Then was 438. Yeah, given the chance, obviously, he was taking a lot of damage on himself as well. The hill is an open area, 438 damage. I would take that. 24 minutes, 40 seconds of survival. Now, almost 25-ish minutes of survival time just coming down by this. That was brilliant.
That was just brilliant play. And with that, move on towards top players. It is, of course, Ahmed taking the lead with 7 kills. Move on towards Akib, 8 kills. And 759 damage is what he's given. But in another turn of events is going to be TE as well as NES, who have had 5 kills and 3 kills right now.
Yeah, for themselves. You could see the damage, you could see the numbers that were just accumulated for all these players. So it's a really good thing. But you know what's most important that I want to see is the actually the way the players actually played, the card of the players. You know, how did they go for this one? Talking about match summary, a Thug got the longest distance kill. Look at this, 387 meters was his distance. Gulfam, Ahmed. Talking about the fact that Gulfam and his lads were just at one area, how did he manage to travel 14,000 meters?
Wow, I mean, talk about rotations, talk about early rotations. That's exactly how C4 were able to get themselves, well, claiming the hill, basically. But again, you talk about North Esports and their play. That was also a pretty comfortable spot that they did deserve, actually. They were second in the game, and the way they played it was just perfect. They utilized the fight that was being taken between C4 and Knockout, and did bring in a few more third-party situations that Knockout was just... well, they were in a blunder of a mess.
Exactly. And after this, obviously, I guess we'll be seeing, you know, the leaderboards for this particular game and where it does take down the players' match rankings. So C4 Gaming, 16 kills, brilliant, 31 total points. North Esports, yeah, they did try good. I mean, the last effort was incredible, but 21 points, I would take that for that one thing.
Absolutely. With that, of course, you talk about Knockout. They are on the 3rd spot with Arcadians, not that far behind, only 2 points shy. And Team Stoner, they did survive for the longest time. They were only a 3-man squad, but they did end up converting that into 10 points. So that is looking GG play. And Magnus right here, though, did not have a good affair as they got caught out in the open.
Yeah, Royals, BFM and Hellraisers as well. They did not get the placement points and the kill points. Obviously, the kill points were going for C4 only. You could see a big chunk of number. And I think if we just talk about the fights, we'll be seeing all of them in the open moments as well, like where the fights were happening, how the fights were going down. And the best part is teams with rotation, like teams played the circle brilliantly. The teams going around the circles, going straight ahead inside the circle. Arcadians.
Yes, exactly what I was thinking about.
The Pochinki rush and everything. Amazing.
But along with that, again, you talk about the way of few of these teams were already in the center of the circle. The way Magnus's approach was, I mean, it should have been in their control because they were already in favoring, or rather the circle was favoring them. But eventually, again, you talk about translation and transition, it was not working in their favor whatsoever at all. But yes, throughout that, of course, all of this will become that much more clear when we do have the Oppo highlights, where indeed we shall perhaps notice a few of those, because again, you talk about Star as they were stuck in that Pochinki region, and the way that team was brought down, I mean, just perfect play coming in from Arcadians.
Yeah, that's true. That was a brilliant, perfect effort by Arcadians and the players out there, but it was just for that area. After that, they did try. I mean, Arcadians' last play was just out there, just trying to go on to the upside of the hill, but the thing is, you are one versus a lot of players. That kind of just falters on. So this is going to be the start of the open moments and myth. Yeah, this was a mistake for sure.
Absolutely. It was the ay moment of the game, so to say, right off the bat. I mean, North Esports did not have anything favoring them. And this push coming in from the side of Hellraisers, this was just ill-timed through and through because Immobilists were in control of this early aggression coming in from Hellraisers, and they were knocked and then pushed back into the lobby right off the bat.
Yeah, it just comes down to how you can, just spot down the players and everything. And Satan did that perfect for the fun fight. final fight. But this one by C4, see, it did give them a run for their money at a moment because it was just going a bit hefty against them. But Arcadians, yeah, this rush was incredible.
Absolutely, this was just absolutely perfectly timed. And again, he had all the information. That is, of course, Kumar right here from the side of Arcadians, who was able to bring in an early domination, even though he was knocked. But again, his teammate was right there, who was going to be Zethan, and Zen certainly did just bring that control from Star's fight into their favor and left him standing for the side of Arcadians.
And look at this again. So you remember there was a time when C4 was in a lot of trouble, but then the player of GHAZI was not here because he did take down one. He was on low HP. He puts up the first hit. He takes up the first hit and then takes another one. But then that was the problem that just happened. But now this fight, I mean NES, they took this fight incredible. Takes down one, spots another one, takes another one down. Pan, he was surviving somehow just because Gulfam took down Maxi.
Absolutely, and with that final blow to them, this was the end of it, where indeed TS did lose out of, well, again, being out in the open basically, and they had given away all of that information towards Knockout as well as C4. Now we had only 3 to 4 teams remaining. Fourth was, of course, Arcadians, the one-man army, and with that move on towards Ahmed and C4's Gulfam, and I mean, just perfect play coming in from this team.
There were so many brilliant movements, but after this, I mean, NES, how did they just let it go? Because they had a brilliant moment at the time when they were rushing up and they were taking good fights.
Right.
All of a sudden, C4 once again changed, and by the end of the game, no one but C4 was contesting that. By the end of the game,
that is true. Throughout, I mean, you talk about aggression being brought in towards those final few moments of the game. It was all C4 that was in control. Knockout was just trying to hide behind that tree and that small little vehicle that they had to be able to just, just survive for the longest, because again, the zone was coming in for them, gunning for them, and so was the situation for NES. They were also in that down low situation where C4 was the one who was in control through and through. But with that, how has that affected the overall ranking? C4 has moved up to 6th spot with 91 points. North Esports is up ahead with 96 points, even though they have not gotten a single chicken dinner.
I want to see where Magnus ends with today's day, right? Because they are at the top right now, and they will be setting a benchmark for Portal, NFP, I mean, because these teams will be coming on tomorrow. So I want to see where does Magnus end their day today, because that is something that will change the momentum for the other teams. That will be coming tomorrow, so that's more important. But then moving up forward, F4 obviously is not playing, but Esports Nation, Knockout. I mean, Knockout did also have a really good fight today.
Absolutely did. They were in control a little bit, and they certainly were able to convert that. Thus, they've brought themselves up to 11th position, and that is looking pretty GG for them. But again, you move the conversation towards BFM. The way this game turned out, not necessarily the kind of game that they would have hoped and wanted, but eventually, again, that is not the end of the day. This is just the start.
Yeah, that is true. We're now talking about Immigals Bliss, the Arcadians, Team GHAZI, and Expandables. They have to be in top 16 and they have to be at a comfortable spot. Because tomorrow, Zerari Sports will start, 47X Frost. Like, they will start tomorrow. And imagine if they get a good chicken dinner somehow. Because, sometimes movements might just be in their favor. And if they get a chicken dinner, they will be at a really good spot. And that will, again, push these teams downwards.
Absolutely. And that is where, of course, you talk about Expendables being on 24th and Hellraisers on 27th. Team Stoner moving up. Of course, with that sort of a play, they are going to have to keep doing this. They are going to have to keep on grinding like this. And Hellraisers, they are going to have to, well, control that aggression. Because right now, that aggression was not working in their favor. And that was the first team to be sent back. So therefore, no point at all. I mean, no placement point, no kill point. Not what you want.
I mean, that's not what you want at this particular moment when we are talking about the ending day for two groups. It's just the end. After here, if something starts, that's going to be a new journey. But this is the ending day for a few teams. I mean, you have to choose yourself wisely your strategies. Which side are you? The ones that will play next week or the ones that ends today?
Absolutely. With that, we're going to go on a very, very short break. Stick around. We're going to be right back with the first match, number 2. Hello and welcome back once again. This is match number 2 on, of course, Sanhok, and we already have the flight path on our screens, where indeed, right off the bat, Ocean, we are looking at Lost Esports taking the southern dock area for themselves, and ESN, Hassan, is still in the game.
I mean, the team is in the game as of now. Well, I don't know what happened at that particular moment. I was in the band pan. That was in the previous game. But right now, let's see. Right from the starting of the Lagavi till Tambang is where we are seeing the players right now. Camp Alpha's Island is up for contestation. Every team wants to go out there. And seems like ESN is going. Paradise Bootcamp. We know the players, just moving on to these areas. Team Royal, they are going to Painan for the contestation probably. Sounds like a good area, but still where the circle is. And all at Camp Alpha. So in these kind of circles, once again, the water is going to play the most important role. And I feel like we can see a few early skirmishes against Imbliss. As you can see, that is happening in Bootcamp's area.
Absolutely. Right off the bat, we're looking at Imbliss not having a good start. On the other side, Arcadians only playing with 3-man army this time around. And it is BFM that is the one that seems to be taking the fire of Immobilist for now. But in that, of course, you need to keep in mind, it is a 2v affair. And in that, of course, as BFM is being brought down, so are the players of Immobilist side by side. With that, we have BFM taking 1 knock and Immobilist, or rather convert that into 2 knocks already, and BFM having revived one of them is going to perhaps push on along to be able to revive another one. But on the other side, you talk about Immobilist, they've not only gotten knocks, but they've got 2 of their players being sent back into the lobby right off the bat, and this is not the kind of early aggression that perhaps any of these teams were expecting. And what a perfect placement coming in from Afnan right here. Afnan is in control of that perfect revive that was supposed to come in from the side of BFM, but was not. Even though it was not converted into a knock from the side of Afnan, it is just perfect play from BFM, and they sent the first team into the lobby for now.
As of now, it was a really, really early skirmish that just happened. I think we might just see another fight happening out here against Adnan and Pan. Both of them need a backup. That's why none of them is just moving forward. And what's happening is both of them right now are thinking maybe the other side has more players, and that's what they are comfortable. So that's how you play mind games with each other. And that kind of just changes quite a lot of things. And the circle is going to be closing up in less than 20 seconds. That's one thing. So Adnan is out here. You can see Adnan's POV. Pan, you could see his POV. Snake away, Psycho's away, and maybe it's their 1v1 skirmish as well that's happening. So that's just one thing. Also, Snake was looting. We could just see that.
Well, again, I mean, this is just perfect. Once again, or rather convert that into not perfect, because Hellraiser once again deciding to go on with that early aggression, and that's not going to work in his favor because he's got no helmet, he's got no nothing actually, and this fight could very well be in control of Pan. But again, it is a fight that is in control of Expendables, and they bring down early aggression down towards the side of Adnan Hellraisers, and Hellraisers is going to get a knock and a confirmed kill from their team. Again, not the start Hellraisers wanted. Even though, I mean, the previous game, they were the first team to be sent back into the lobby. This game, they are, again, not having the bestest of the start. But move the conversation towards the eastern side of the map right now. It is NES. That is all by themselves. Not a lot of contestation, but right above them was, of course, C4, or the entire team of C4. And right here, we've got another fight being brought in from the side of Expendables once again. And it is Thug taken fight towards the side of GHAZI. Is he all by himself? No, there is another player right behind him who should be able to bring in a flanking approach, but no, GHAZI is the one knocking and controlling this fight for now.
Last game, you know the aggression that Team GHAZI was bringing onto the uphill, and this time again they want to go for this one. Well, the fight's downhill, but they're like, we want to be the king, whether it's a hill contestation or not, and they are starting up really good. All they have to do is just find out other players, and this is the second kill, 2 kills for TE. Let's see if they can go more. And Team GHAZI, they got the first kill right now. It's Clown who's surviving out in this area, really close to the players of Team GHAZI, so he will be in a lot of pressure right now. Obviously needs up a backup, needs those players, needs someone who listens the call and, helps him out in the situation. Spots down one, but no. He goes down. GHAZI will be enjoying another kill probably.
Absolutely. The team of Expendables is very, very expanded on the entire map right now. There's no one player or 2 players that are in control of any single compound or area. They have themselves fanned out, and that is not the kind of approach you want to have, where indeed on the other side, GHAZI bringing in a perfect play as a team. And of course, we saw from the Khan side as well, as he went down towards the beach area, to be able to just confirm, if at all, the knock that they just confirmed into a kill has his teammates on towards that side. And that is not the case, because again, the team of Expendables is just not together, and that is not the way to play the game, especially on Sanhok for now.
GHAZI Bhai, GHAZI Jan and GHAZI Wazir, they are still just, trying to move up and against onto the areas. The best part about this team is you saw the rush. You know, when they rush, they all rush together right now. Because last game, their only mistake was that one player was moving up forward while the other players were away. So now they are coping up on that mistake. And that's how fast you can learn from the mistakes. Well, one tree cannot give two players shelter. I just learned that right now. As you could see what happened. ESN just moving up forward right now. And TE, the players will have to see. All right, just a small peek. And there is an elimination.
Yep, with that, Expendables, the second team being sent back into the lobby, taking fights that they were just not required to. And again, I mean, what a play from the side of Expendables. They need to be doing a lot more in today's day. One game is already done, and with that, this team is already being sent back into the lobby. Their dream seems to be getting really, really tough now.
Yeah, but then talking about Team GHAZI, you can see Wazir is still away from the players. I want to see how much time does he take, just to beat together, because that's important right now. But talk about Team Star Ops. One player, three players, like the rest of the players. And that's the widest split I've seen, like, for one island. Absolutely,
that is just some communication, information not being shared properly, no idea what is going on in StarX's mind, but Zyro right here we can see is on down towards the western southern side of the map all by himself. Seems almost like he's in the water, just going to be hiding and being absolutely quiet, because that is what is bare essential for him to be just surviving for his team. But move it towards the side of course, east, where indeed it is Lost Esports as well as Acadians who are now pushing on towards the side of the circle, and Royals are going to be in their way.
Hellraisers has a really good position. I mean, they can, contest the whole area. If the teams will be coming in from the water side, they can contest the whole area for themselves. Talking about the airdrop right now, the first airdrop does have a Groza in itself with a medkit as well. True. I mean, you're gonna go for the 100% HP. You have one thing for that, but you gotta keep it in your bag, and it needs a lot of space. That's one of the most important things right now. But ESN, the way they are moving, Team GHAZI might be in a bit of trouble, or probably it might be the other way around, talking about it, because Team GHAZI Bhai is trying to spot down Wallenite. It sounds like they know each other's locations. It's just one thing that, a cold war is going on, like who shoots first.
Exactly, and the way GHAZI is fanning themselves, once again, the approach being perfectly brought in, but ESN certainly seems to be understanding that and are leaving that for the upper hill, because they know if at all they get flanked from the other side, then there will be no control and no support for the side of ESN. But that is a perfect play. This is not called running away from the fight. This is called understanding the situation that you're in and utilizing it in your favor. With that, of course, they understand that they've got the uphill advantage, and that is what they're doing. And with that, of course, now they move on towards the compound, so they get an added support of that house itself. But on the other side of the hill, we can see Hellraisers are not that far behind. And with that, GHAZI slowly utilizing all the utilities that they possibly can and move on and push on along the side of ESN. And ESN, well, yes, they did run away from the fight, but now they are in just that one house. One perfect grenade, and that could be the end of it. But again, as we just mentioned, Hellraisers is right around the corner.
Well, Ninja and Deranged right around the corner for sure. But Team GHAZI, it sounds like they have a really aggressive stance right now. And knowingly or unknowingly, they have pushed ESN into these house compound-ish areas, and so now Team GHAZI is moving up forward. You can see Jan just coming up from one tree to the rock, to the tree to the rock. That's one thing. But GHAZI can't. A good grenade, lofted down. Will it do the damage? It does not yet. All right, it does damage of just 20. But Hellraiser's Ninja does go down. Now they are using more and more grenades. I mean, the nade parade is for sure happening. The damage has been done. On to the players. This already gives them a real good head start for Team GHAZI, as they have a bit more HP, but now comes the major push, and GHAZI Jan goes down. ESN still surviving, but one player from ESN also goes down while it has been taken down right now, and another one goes down. And now ESN is with just one last player. Wazir goes in. No, he goes down right now. Can he take this fight? Well, ESN, 3 players are down. 3 players have been taken out. Where's the last one?
Well, that's it. Seems like that's it. There is no backup, there is nothing, because again, when it comes to this fight, it is looking like Hellraisers are going to be probably pushing along, but not so good, because again that push came in, well, not at the right time once again, and Erangel from the side of Hellraisers is down, and he's also given away the information towards the side of GHAZI, as they had 2 players knocked down. They are going to be revived, and this is not looking good for the side of Hellraisers. But
same thing. The grenades. All right, so this grenade was out, not the same thing.
Right.
Last time
it can be though.
I mean, they are trying the same thing. It's kind of a you know, the karma thing that's happening, because they use the same strategy against their opponents, ESN. Now GHAZI is stuck in that house, and Hellraisers have to do the same thing. Oh
wow, what an irony this is. But again, we do have to keep in mind that when it comes to the side of Hellraisers, they only have 2-man army, whereas on the other side of GHAZI, they have 3 members strong, and that is something that they could very well utilize in their favor. But again, the conversation is, when it comes to Hellraisers, that is not looking good, because MSG, Magnus, coming in from the other end of the hill altogether, and this is a fight that could go either way for now.
I don't know. All right, so last player of ESN, you can see Hassan. He is in Camp Alpha, and he's again AFK. He's again AFK. He's not moving. He's again AFK. Well, now talking about this, if the players of Hellraisers have read the kill feed properly, they should be knowing the GHAZI's 2-man. They lost 1 player in the first fight, now they lost another one, so they can rush. I mean, if they have good 1 more extra grenade, they can rush up. But the thing about Ninja is, 1 good shot and his helmet goes down, his vest goes down. I mean, he will be even more vulnerable than before.
Absolutely, and again, we know when it came to Erangel, that is going to be the other player of Hellraiser. He was already knocked, so when it comes to the utilities that he's got on him, well, those could very well be crucial in this fight. But again, you talk about the safety net, which is of course going to be your helmet and the vest. They ought to be damaged as well. So this is a very tricky situation that Hellraisers have put themselves in, because they've given away the information, and again,
that was a good bait. That was a good bait. You saw Khan actually put down a smoke, and Ninja thought it's a grenade. He just ran back there, and now he realizes it's a smoke. Now it can actually help him.
Well, perfect cover coming in from the side of GHAZI, because they know that there is MSG, that is Magnus on the other side, and they cannot reveal or even go out through the back end of the house. And now they've only got to be 1 situation remaining, that is push on along the side of Hellraisers, and Hellraisers are fanning themselves away and probably going to be utilizing this fanned out approach. But will it work in their favor? Ninja is looking pretty A-okay in his push and in his information control basically of the compound. GHAZI is not moving at all. They do not know where exactly can this push be brought on from.
It's a war of smokes right now. All of them using the smoke grenades onto each other somehow. Just trying to buy out time if they can. I mean, given the fact they are inside the circle, they don't have to worry about the zone. But all they have to worry about is Magnus that was onto the backside. You know, they can just spot anyone and take 1 down. But look at Ninja. Again, just slithering his way, using more and more smokes just to his advantage that he thinks it is. And somehow it is, you know, kind of buying them out time just before the fight happens. GHAZI, but he still thinks that the player will be coming up from the door right now. That's why he's just, you know, using the smoke grenades on the door side. GHAZI can't. I mean, he has to spot down Derange, and he knows Derange might be onto the backside. So both the players have to look front and back. Given the fact this team has 5 kills right now, if they get 7, and after that, if they somehow get eliminated, that'll be really good. Like, they'll have a good number of kills for themselves. But now comes the thing. Look at Ninja, how close he is. Once the smoke goes down, it might be a bad news for him.
For Hellraisers, one problem I am having from this team is Erangel. Did he notice that MSG is right around the corner, and Magnus will be able to spot him as he's too far out in the open? And that could be a very determining position given away for the side of Magnus, and Magnus can very well utilize this push coming in from the side of Hellraisers against them, and that could be detrimental for the side. But
the smoke dance, that's what's happening. So many smokes just to bait out the players. And now everyone knows they just have smokes. No one's using anything. No one's going to use grenades. So they just stand there. They always stand there. They know it's just the smokes. Otherwise, if they had grenades on, they would use them. But no, Ninja goes down. It's down to 1 player. That's Derange. He goes in as well. He spots down 1. And well, he goes down. GHAZI, they have 7 kills now.
GG indeed, GHAZI. What a play. And with that, move on towards Knockout. Knockout seems to be in the contestation against the side of Lost Esports, where indeed you look onto the map, on towards the southern side of Alpha. We are looking at the perfect placement from Lost Esports, where Knockout is the one who is contesting to be in the circle, and they are bringing Lost Esports players down. So that is perfect. With that, Circle moves on towards the southern, or rather the northern side of Bootcamp for now, and Royals are in control, so are BFM as well as NES. But C4 right now, are going to be making that rotation to get into the circle and perhaps once again, from the looks of it, going to be contesting for this hill.
Well, Oreo just moving up and against for the players. And just as we can see, NES, they have a good area for themselves, just like, we were discussing about it. GHAZI takes on Arcadian Zoomer as well, but GHAZI goes down by MGS Adil onto the other side. So that just leaves GHAZI with one player right now. I mean, we still have to see if GHAZI gets eliminated, and yes, he does. So that just leaves GHAZI Khan as the last member of the team who has to play everything slowly and steadily because they don't want to lose those skill points that they have accumulated right now. Those are hard-earned kill points, and we all know that.
Absolutely, and with that, we talk about Arcadians. They are slowly moving and pushing along in towards the circle itself. Alongside them is going to be Knockout, and far away from Knockout is going to be Lost Esports. Now, with that, Lost Esports is only one-man army for now because Knockout were able to bring down 2 of their players, and so for Knockout, their rotation is going to work in their favor. But for now, it is C4 and Star taking a fight against each other, where indeed you're looking at C4 as well as Star knocking down players from both sides.
You can see Royal Doctor taking down C4, Ahmed, and Arcade in one spray. Esports Nation, meanwhile, also. Okay, so the play zone becomes the MVP of that fight as he takes down the play zone, ends the last play of ESN. But C4. Think about it. The tables have turned. The previous game was really good, but this game, it's kind of a tricky thing for them. If they were not in a higher ground, they were being caught at the lower ground rotation. That's really bad for them. But Weekend, he wants to take that kill. He has eyes set on that one player, and he knows that they are just a bit on the inner side of the circle. He knows that they would go for the movement. Look at the Molotov that they are deploying. Obviously, it's not at an exact area, but they want those badly. But look at this,
wow.
Adil and Oreo trying to create a really good off angle.
Absolutely, and with that, of course, it is C4 that's going to be stuck in between, alongside which, of course, is going to be Star, because on the back end of C4 is going to be Royal. On top of them, of course, is going to be Magnus. On the other side, Magnus has already started pushing on towards the side of Star, and also this is going to be a fight which, again, you talk about Magnus and their approach. They have themselves fanned out. 2 players up on top of the hill and 2 players down here. So, of course, the idea being that they want to be able to bring out the players of Star, and they do so very perfectly. Where indeed a knock has been brought in from the side of Magnus, but with that, Magnus also takes a knock. Oreo is down. There is just 1 man remaining. That is going to be a 1v2 situation right there. Never mind that, because the players of Magnus have lost their life, and it is Star that was able to get control of this small little push.
Somehow they clutched it. They have reduced Magnus to a 2-man squad. They do have 3 kills, but the thing is, they have to leave this hill. 210 meters is the distance between the next circle and them, and so they have to move. They have to leave those players that were actually in a really easy stance for them, and now it's done for. Now the movement starts for these players as well. But if we talk about the circle, Arcadian's Gambler, he's in the central lines of the circle. Faison, meanwhile, takes down Upsert from Knockout by a really good grenade. Look at now Weekend just, rushing down from the hill. And one thing for sure is, he needs to leave that hill for as he moves up for the circle, and he is finding up a really good area from where he can go down. But C4 goes down by Royal Doctor. C4. Again, the revivals. I mean, this is going to be a really tricky thing for them. If they don't get an upper hand, they always go down.
Absolutely, and with that, of course, C4 has a lot more troubles coming towards them, because Star is going to be approaching with a 3-man army right exactly onto their positions, but Star has no idea where they are at. And with that, Star certainly does get a knock from the side, and that is going to be Gulfum once again bringing a knock towards the side of Star, but they are in a very tricky situation where in front of them is going to be Royals that will not let them push on, and on the other back end, of course, is the team of Star that is coming on along for them, and the circle also pushing on along, but Mustafa just deciding to rush for it. He's only a 1-man team for now, and C4 is going to probably make it out alive or not, of course, is going to be a question for Royals to answer.
Yeah, right now BFM Hawk is trying to go for a revive. The revive will be just coming up right now. Erangel has to move up again onto the forward lines as of now, but Erangel has been spotted down. You can see the players, they are in a tricky stance for themselves, but not anymore because the fights are coming down. Star, it's bad as the team does get eliminated. The player do get eliminated onto this one, and now NES Maxi So they are trying to spray onto these areas, but nobody was out there.
That absolutely, there's nobody out there. In that, of course, BFM getting eliminated. They had the control of the circle, 2 circles back, but not anymore. And talk about this final circle, we're looking at 5 teams. NES coming in from the western side. We've got, of course, NES. That is all 4 men strong, so that is going to be perfect in their control. And NES bringing down aggression towards knockout and already sending another player off knockout into the lobby for now.
Well, they are using those good grenades for themselves. Royal Charlie goes down by knockouts officer, who actually is trying to take the fight onto the other direction. Now, if we talk about this, 20 minutes into the game, we are down to 5 teams. Keo Musa, if he has to move forward, he has to do it now, but he gets spotted, and that will be a trouble. Well, we could see a few ghillie suits, and now the spray should just come in, but Musa, he's getting shot down. Oh, Erangel does the job. Well, Snow did not do it, but well, he was trying to do the damage as well afterwards. And Upsir, will he go for the revival? That's the main question. I mean, the circle is not their best friend. Play zone ends. Musa and maybe his teammate Upsir might just follow up.
Absolutely, NES is certainly dominating right now. With that, of course, we just noticed that Magnus has been sent back into the lobby, and Knockout is probably going to be the next being sent out into the lobby. Yes, that is correct, as he had to make a run for either it was the circle or the bullets coming in from the side of NES, and NES now have the control with only 3 teams remaining. That's going to be 2 players from Royals and, of course, 1 player from the side of Arcadians as of now.
Whilst the other teams, NES is trying to take down Royals, they are forgetting that Arcadians Gambler is the last one surviving. He's a solo man, and he's looking really good against all the fights. So that's important. But the circle is with NES right now. Talking about Royals, they have to make just a bit of a run, and that run will be happening if it happens on the road. I mean, you can see the circle. It has a clear central area on that roadside, on that road as well. So now NES, all the 4 players, they somehow have to not take this fight. I mean, if you want those points, you just have 5 points right now. Of the kill department, you might as well take a few more. They can take 8 points, 2 from Royal, 1 from Arcadians, and end the game. Talking about Royal, they have 9 kills. Harry's out here with 2 kills, and if you just see his teammate, he is looking really good. Doctor was incredible, but there it is. Gambler goes down the 3rd position. This is down to a 2v4 situation. Royals versus NES. Somehow, NES wants this win. They get 2 points. They get 1 point right now, and they'll get 2 points of the kills. But now they are using their throwables, just trying to find out if someone's out there. But the Molly did hit Harry. He is low on HP. He is down on HP. Doctor, he knows the location is compromised. Doctor puts up a first, but no. The grenade from Avenger does go down, and now they know where to rush in. Snow and Maxi are going down. Who's going to take the final kill? NES, second in the first game. This time they get a chicken dinner.
What a play this is. What a phenomenal play this is coming on from the side of course, North Esports. Just the kind of play, just the kind of domination that was needed from them with 8 kills in total. What a damaging, controlling play this has been from North Esports. And 1449 total damage. Beautiful, beautiful.
That grenade changed everything. That was a brilliant, brilliant grenade.
With the Molotov combined as well, because the Molotov did push them away from that perfect cover that they had off the rock. And then, of course, as they pushed on along, the grenade was perfectly timed and perfectly elevated down to the exact angle. And with that, we, of course, know that that was just domination from the side of NES with all 4 members alive.
Exactly. Good throwable just coming down, and that was incredible, and that was impressive the way the fights, just happened. So somehow if you just, want to talk about the MVP, let's just have a look at who is the MVP of this one. It's going to be Royal Doctor, and that is going to be just out there. 6 kills, 798 damage. Healing done just 83 healing. That's all.
That is all. Well, he is a doctor after all. He knows how to take care of himself. And just with that, 6 kills. I mean, what a play. My friend, that is just royal play coming in from the side of Doctor indeed. And with that, of course, you talk about the top players. That is, of course, going to be Royal, but followed not so far away is going to be NES with the Avenger OP, 5 kills, 805 damage coming in from the side, and GHAZI's, Khan and Bhaiya with 4 and 3 kills respectively.
771, 687 damage for them, 4 and 3 exactly. So these players also did really good for themselves, but NES Avenger and Royal Doctor, well, they were looking phenomenal in all the fights.
Absolutely. With that, of course, let's also have a look at perhaps the standing of this match itself, where indeed we know for a fact that NES, that is North Esports, got 8 kills and 15, points from the chicken dinner, but Royals, wow, not that far behind with 21 points in total, yeah?
9 kills for them. But talking about another team that got 9 kills, Team GHAZI, look at this, 1 placement point, 9 kills. Had they been surviving just a bit more, they could have done wonders in the lobby.
Wow, just 1 placement point, so that is just phenomenal with that team. Arcadians, just that one player who's remaining has brought them up as well. And for that, he's going to get placement points, but no kills whatsoever from the side of Arcadians, but that again is A-okay because he did survive for the longest, and that has resulted in this team being 6th for now. Move the conversation towards, of course, the bottom 8 teams. We are looking at, of course, Esports Nation, the Expendables, C4 Gaming, Lost, and Hellraiser. Again, Hellraisers, they need to change something in their play. The early aggression, the pushes, this is just not working for them at all.
The over-aggression, I would say, because they were using those smokes. They could have just dished out the time, but then they decide to go in and they were turned into a crate. So that's one thing that obviously they will have to change somehow. If that happens, it will be a brilliant thing. It will be a good thing for them, if
yes,
anything. Yeah,
absolutely. And with that, of course, let's also maybe have the look at the Oppo highlights. Perhaps we can have the best Oppo moments right here on our screens, and that is it. That is where the early aggression started off. Right in the first 2 minutes, we had first team that was being sent into the lobby.
Exactly. This is where the fight started, the boot camp area, as we were just discussing about it. But after this, this is where the things were just continuing forward. And TE, yeah, they got eliminated by ESN. But then ESN, GHAZI's push, this was brilliant. And GHAZI, HR push, that was brilliant. So it was this house push by push by push. And this is where GHAZI actually got the best out of a lot of things. They got so many kill points from these fights. And after this, all they had to do is just get these numbers more and more and more. 5 kills is what they had. 6th one incoming, and the 7th one was also just arriving.
Absolutely, and that was just like a platter being sent out towards the side, and that was, of course, just from the side of Hellraisers. I mean, just again, that's what I was talking about. But move along towards the side of C4, where indeed they survived for quite a while. Mustafa was the only one who was able to survive and did try and push on along into the circle, but he was not allowed to do so. Where indeed you had NES who were controlling the circle beautifully.
Yeah, totally. And this was the ending of the game, the way it just ended. So it was an incredible game with a curveball that the circle was just forming down onto the player. So two games, impressive circles. First game, half military, half query. The circle just moved up to Pochinki's side. In this game, all 3 islands just a bit surrounded by water, and the circle moves on to Camp Alpha side, and then the circle starts moving again back to the water side. So the games were brilliant, and with that circle as well.
Absolutely. With that, let's have a look at the overall standings and find out, with this sort of a play from NES, where have they reached? They are on the second with 119 points. Magnus still taking a lead with 139 points. So there is still a big lead difference in terms of the points themselves.
Yeah, there is definitely a big lead in terms of the point themselves. But Magnus, I still want to have just one conversation. Where do they end? What will it be? 150, 160? Like, what will be the ending score? 170 probably. How are they gonna play it? Look at the amount of placement points that North Esports has. That's same as the kill points that Magnus has. It's totally same. But well, moving up forward from 9 to 16 knockout, they are doing really good. All they have to do is even better. It's 2 games remain. They can make it up to a really good number. Arcadians, Freestyle. I mean, Freestyle is not playing today, but Arcadians right now 62.16 position. I mean, 16th is where it just ends. So they have to choose a better number.
Absolutely, and the 10-point lead that Arcadians got with just the placement points in this game is just absolutely perfect. But move it along towards the side of Team GHAZI. I mean, they certainly are trying their level best and will, of course, be showcasing a lot more today. But that is only if things work in their favor, because again, you talk about that same conversation for Expendables. That is going to be their approach, but they do need to be a bit more controlling into the next 2 games. Otherwise, it is going to be a dream coming to an end.
Yeah, that is true. Expandables, 2X Official, and SC Team Frost, they are also out there. Talking about these teams, there are a few teams. Stoners, Hellraisers, Lost Esports. They have to, just change their game. Somehow they have to do something. They have to.
Absolutely, they certainly have to, because again, only 2 more games remain, and Hellraisers, they have, well, again, are they going back to that drawing board? Are they looking at their plays themselves? I'm sure they themselves are very synergistic, are having those sort of communications, but eventually when they do go into the map itself, it's not being utilized or not being seen as well. With that, never mind that conversation. We're going to go on a very short break. Coming right up is going to be match number 3.
Because you're everything I need.
Hello and welcome back once again to, of course, PUBG Mobile Club Open. This is the Pakistan region that we're in, and of course, we do have to thank Renault 5 Pro for making it all happen. But indeed, eventually, this is the final day that we're in when it comes to these two groups, Group A and C. And in that, well, till now we've gotten some incredible plays, but now there's only 2 more games remaining. So let's jump into this elongated map of Miramar and find out what team is it going to be that will, of course, be taking this chicken dinner.
Exactly. We start from the backsides of El Zahar, moving on to La Driela, San Martin, Hacienda del Patron, Pecado, El Pozo are going to be good areas if you want to go inside onto those areas. Los Leones, Chumacera as well up for the contestation. I was talking to Johnny as well previously, and I wanted the circle to be just here somewhere, you know, the upper 2 islands, because that will be a brilliant one. It's a rare case, but
very rare. I don't know if
or somewhere around Minas del Sur, Los Angeles.
Right. Should be. That certainly should be the case. I mean, you talk about
adds spice to the game.
Right, it certainly does. I mean, Veladarmar's circle is going to be just perfect because you could have so much in that turn of events. But in this, that's what we're looking at. When it comes to the teams, we're looking at 3 teams who are playing with just 3-man army. You've got Team Stoners. They have been playing since the start with 3-man army.
Yeah.
You talk about Hellraisers. They certainly needed the 4th member, but have decided not to play with them. And when you talk about ESN, Hassan is still in there, who does not even move when the game starts. This is very, very bizarre the way this is turning out to be for a few of these teams. But eventually, again, the conversation is not just for the 3 teams, because there is a lot more teams in the lobby, and the teams are dominating and forcing out plays from their opponents as well.
Definitely, the teams are dominating and forcing out the teams. So that's one thing. But now we will see, you know, where the circle formation happens, and how does the circle move with everything as the players are just slowly and steadily just, you know, going down. But Arcadians, again, 4 players, 4 different directions. Power Grid, Graveyard, the backside of Monte Nuevo, the backside of El Pozo. I mean, how far split apart are these players? That's really, I don't know if that's brilliant or something, because there's no fight yet right next to them. But that's brilliant in one sense, and that is they get their own share of loot.
Exactly, that is so
plus
true.
Plus, Picaro's empty.
It is. It certainly is for the moment, but it could very well be taken over by the side of course, Arcadians. And indeed, with that, we've got the first circle coming in towards the side of course, El Pozo and Crater Fields. But indeed, taking that gamble from Arcadian side, it is certainly a gamble that they do end up doing quite a lot of times. But moving the conversation towards teams down towards East, we're looking at Star, X, as well as TE. That is the Expendables, who are on to the extreme eastern side of the map, followed of course by very closely by Star, and then is NES. Now Knockout is also right around the corner, and when you talk about early fights and early skirmishes, we could very well be seeing down south of El Pozo, Hellraisers going against the side of Team Stoner for the moment perhaps.
Probably. That's just a thing. But right now, as you can see, the players of Hellraisers, you know, just moving up and against El Pozo's area. I don't know, like, you know, we see El Pozo as a decent area for the fights, but talking about Royal's also there. And Royal had a really good game previously. Not the best, though, you know, they finished on the 2nd spot. They obviously wanted that chicken dinner. Arcadians, the placement points did favor them. That's one thing. So I want to see what happens in this particular game, as NES will be ready for everything that you can throw on them. The first game was at the 2nd position. 2nd game was a chicken dinner. So maybe this time they would love to do something even better. Obviously, there's nothing better than a chicken dinner, but more kills.
More kills
that thing.
And a chicken dinner, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about 14 kills and a chicken dinner perhaps
Something
is the
like
situation. That would make it that much more of a cherry on top for NES. But indeed, I mean, talk about the way the rotations are coming in, and not even rotations, but just the early momentum and the early movement of them teams. We're looking at Knockout and the southern part of Los Leones, along with, of course, NES being stuck in that same region as well, making their way down towards those apartments and getting themselves the perfect loot that they possibly can from that area. Moved into the circle, you're looking at the water treatment plant right above water treatment. That is, of course, in control of BFM. But right now, this is where the early skirmishes could very well start, where you do know that Malco is moving into the same apartment that Hellraisers Ninja is in. And once again, Hellraisers have themselves in a bit of a trickle.
So Ninja, I don't know, like, did Ninja drop on the top of the building and then he went inside that house? Because had he been from the door that's of the house, like, he would have taken the loot already.
True.
And Malco would never find something. Those gates would be open, something like that. But so now Ninja's just out here. I mean, what is Marco going to do? Does he know or does he not? I think so. He does not, and that's where the first skirmish is happening. He's going for a reload. 23 bullets. You had 23 bullets, mate. You should not go for a reload. And now, talking about it, Marco. Oh, so it's what? Okay, so now what is happening? All right, he's trying. He went down again. He went down again. How did he go down? All right, find that pit. Find that pit. You find the pit. Okay, so he's going down again. GHAZI was on to the other side, takes an iconic and will be finishing him down as well. But I want to see that fight. I want to know what is happening. Give me spoilers.
That was a cat and mouse chase coming in from the side of Hellraisers. But indeed, our Ninja, he had all the perfect control of that fight in his favor. Yet again, decided to only blast away 7 bullets and then decided to reload and then start a cat and mouse chase, which was just phenomenal to see. But eventually, it is going to turn into his favor when Ninja has caught them off guard and Stoners are being brought down. Again, this is a 3v3 scenario where indeed both the teams are playing with only 3 members of their team playing in the lobby. But TS Leo right now going on for a revive perhaps towards Malco. No, not yet. It is Fauji who is all by himself. Yes, Leo is going for the revive, and it is Fauji who is going to be looking on to the back ends if at all Hellraisers decide to utilize this position in their favor.
And also looting the crate. Like, I mean, audience will agree with me on one thing. There's always that one teammate. The other one does the job, he goes for the revive, and there's one teammate who always loots the crate. Yes. He's like, yeah, I find good stuff in this crate, and then that's one thing. Well, it's true. Like, jokes apart, though. Jokes apart. D-Range and Adnan, they are on one the other direction. So now those players have to see one thing, and that is they're reduced to a 2-man squad. How do they plan this? But if we're talking about TS, brilliant fight taken. It was a 3v3 right from the start.
Yep.
I mean, TS also has 3 men. In this lobby, but now they have to contest this area at any cost, because these 3 people, the circle is their friend right now. They don't have to move away from here, but when the players will rush in, they have to defend, and they can. I mean, they have that capability for sure.
Absolutely, and with that, talking about more skirmishes, it could very well be down south of Los Leones, where indeed we've got NES and Knockout, who are very, very close to each other right now, and along with that, we're of course looking at GHAZI in the center of the circle, very close to Lost Esports, as well as another team that is going to be right next to them, and that, of course, is Immobilist. And indeed, that is the fight that we were just hearing when we had the map, and this is a fight that could go in either directions, because again, Scout of Immobilist right there up on top of that mountain will have the information down towards GHAZI Bhai as he's in the open. Same goes for the other 2 lads as well, and that is what we're looking at. Immobilist Satan right now bringing in some early aggression. Will he be able to do so? Maybe some utilities would be the way to go about this right now, but he has his crosshairs completely exactly set up where they need to be and taken a little bit of damage, but that will not be shying away from the fight.
Well, that is true, but right now, Imbliss, we're just talking about this team, right? Khan did take a bit of damage on him, but the thing is, it's still that situation, the high and low kind of fight situation, in which if you are on the lower side, you still have to think about, like, will you rush? You can obviously, take the players down, but the rush is a different thing. And if you're on the higher side, you have to look for other things as well. Like there are other directions as well from where someone else can shoot you, so you're not at all safe. Obviously, you're taking that fight on the downwards area, you'll be having a cover. If you lie down here, you're not spotted. You still have that ridges cover for you. So you kind of need to find out those off angles in which everything suits perfectly. So somehow Imbliss, they do have to do that right now.
Exactly. And along with that, Ocean, another thing to add on would be the usage of utilities, because Immobilists certainly have the advantage of utilities, whereas a team that is on the southern side, or rather at the bottom side of any of these sort of fights and positions, it is certainly not going to work out for them. But in that, as Immobilists try and get themselves fanned out, they find out that there is Magnus, who is also on that hill, and Satan is the one bringing that conversation in his favor, brings down Edil, and what are we looking at? We've got a fall damage coming in from the side of Lost Esports.
Well, yes, that did happen right now, but on to the other side, as you can see, the Satan has to move forward. Magnus, they were looking good, but that revival obviously is going to waste a bit of a time, but oh, the grenade does not. Scout goes down, the revive did just arrive, and now the nade parade is happening, you can see, and we can actually create a good off angle. Just like I was saying, if you're at the top, you need to find that someone's even higher.
Yep,
you can climb it, but they were already out there. Oh my god, the game just turned away from Imbliss. Satan has been spotted down. The fight does go in his favor. Adil has to move up forward. He spots down Satan, finishes him down as well. The knock did come down, but now Adil, how much longer can he take this fight? He goes down as well. Magnus, one last player surviving. He has to do everything. Has 24 bullets. Will he go for a reload or not? That's the most important thing right now. Three players out here. He has a 1v2, but no, he does not. Immobilist, they do take this fight somehow. now they enjoy the craze, they enjoy the kills, and they are going to see the team on the downward side. That's going to be GHAZI. And GHAZI, it seems like they're in a vehicle.
Absolutely, GHAZI is preparing to either take that fight from long range, and yes, they certainly are. GHAZI Khan is the one who bringing down Scout from Immobile's side, and he's got a mini with a perfect control, but this is it. This is all that they can possibly do, because now, of course, GHAZI's side is looking comfortable, but not for long, because as soon as Immobilists get themselves acclimated to this early aggression being brought on from the side of Magnus, they are going to retaliate, and of course, GHAZI could be in the crosshairs when it comes to that.
Look at that.
That's a party, right?
That's so many grades, so much stuff to enjoy from. But the thing is, now Team GHAZI, I mean, this is going to be a cold war again. You spot them, you shoot them, but you cannot rush at them. So you got to have your own fights as well, and you got to see each other.
Exactly, and on the other side, on the back end, is Lost Esports Myth, who is taking almost like a theatrical approach from all of this, and is just noticing as to what exactly is going on down in that valley, where indeed Immobilists have decided that, all right, we are done with this fight. Never mind the team that was down below the mountain. It is going to be A-OK to leave them be, because now they have decided to probably push away from this, because they have just brought down the team of Magnus and sent them into the lobby. With that, of course, they've got the best of the best loot possibly set up for them as well. But no, Immobilists not taking that position. They are going to be retaliating to that aggression brought on from GHAZI, as well as they have their crosshairs towards the side of Lost Esports for now.
Well, LS Believe goes down right now by GHAZI Khan. That mini action still, out here. But it's just one thing. Arcadian Stala has been spotted down as well. Now the grenades once again. Afnan's grenade is just out there. A good jump nade just going against the players. Tala, will it do the damage? Alright, it does not. But another grenade does go down. So many grenades is what they have done. And they are using all of them in a really good fashion. But Satan, I think he knows that the players are just moving up forward. Adnan from Air Charge to take down TSP. The fight is still happening on the Pozo. But hey, Satan gets spotted down, and Fairs takes him down as well. Now the finishes will be happening as Satan just goes down, and Khan as well, as Arcadians now charge on the players of on the team of Immobilists. But look at that, BFM is also arriving. So many teams just clustering out in this area, but Arcadians, can they take this fight? I mean, given the fact they did take down one as casualty, and another one has been knocked down, but the revival is just coming up right now, and Scout, he's on one direction, but Arcadian, Fezan and Umar, how long can they survive in this situation?
Absolutely. With that, GHAZI on the other side, of course, taking down players of Lost Esports, as we just noticed earlier. But right now, of course, it is Immobilist Scout that is going to be the defending man for the side, because again, when it comes to his teammates, they are again just getting themselves acclimated, and the aggression being brought in from the side of Arcadians is on point, is with synergy in control of this entire hill. But BFM is not that far behind as well, and that could result in trouble for both of these teams from the looks of it. With that, it is Immobilist Afnan who is now trying to get into an upper hill advantage, but is not able to do so, as there are no places that he can actually walk up from that trajectory. But nevertheless, it is going to be a bit of a slow-paced aggression right now, because Arcadians do not want to give away that position. They have the perfect cover of that hill working in their favor, and it's only the two of them. Whereas Immobilist, Khan, as well as Scout and Afnan, they are going to move away from this small little position and get onto another ridge altogether, so as to perhaps get an uphill advantage on the side from the side of Arcadians.
Well, Arcadians, think about this. Tala goes down, like Tala has been finished down as well. So now Arcadians, being reduced to less and less number of people just means you gotta have your, a plan A does not work, plan B, plan C, something like that. You gotta change your plans, and you gotta do them quick. They're down to a 3-man squad. BFM, meanwhile, now, there's no upper hand as compared to what BFM is. They're at the highest peak. The way they have climbed that's obviously a different story. But the thing is, like, are they going to be safe out there? Because that's, first of all, it's too high up. One wrong, move can obviously, take you down as well. But if you knock someone, like, do you have enough time to finish as well? Like, that's one thing from these directions. From it, like, look at the distance. Look at the distance.
Well, for now, they certainly have the control of this hill, and with that, they've already brought down one player of Arcadians, and Arcadians' two player are right underneath BFM, so they will not be able to be harmed from the side of BFM. But BFM's counterpart, which is going to be Immobilist, what is going to be their approach? Because till now, they were the king of the hill as they brought down that early aggression into the game, but eventually bringing down Magnus resulted in perfect play from the side of BFM. They have Gambler brought down as well, and that is going to be really difficult to revive, and I believe that is probably going to be the end of Gambler right there. But move on towards the other two players of Arcadian. They are in a bit of a jiffy now, because again, Arcadian Gambler would have already told them, the information must have been relayed, that there is a team up above you, and also along with that, they already know that there is Immobilist in their way. Arcadians are pretty much stuck.
That's brilliant. I mean, you heard that K9 shot, right, just going down, and that's where Gambler just, peaked at the wrong moment, and he did go down from that one shot. Now Arcadians will have to see. The kill will be enjoyed by BFM Sherry. For sure, he gets his kill. He gets his, the point that he wants right now. But Arcadians, those two players, given the fact Arcadians was looking really good against Imbliss, like the way they started off the fight, they took down one player and the other one was also taken down. But well, the revive did happen. But right now, what are they? What are they doing? They're trying to just climb up or something.
They've been trying to do this for the longest time.
They're trying to climb up.
Almost like a slide that is just not in their favor, and they know that there is a team up above them. They did bring down Arcadians, and of course, if they have been noticing the kill feed, they would already have seen by now that the team is BFM. And now, of course, the conversation is how exactly do they run away from that situation? BFM is control of not only Arcadians' position, but also Immobilist position.
Still trying to climb up onto that area. I mean, I want to see where the circle is, and I want to see where the circle, leaves these players, because you see all these players, right? So let's just talk about this. This fight of Arcadians, BFM is happening onto the southern side of Crater Fields. So if the circle goes up north, all these teams have to leave this fight and then go up north. That's one thing. ESN, meanwhile, they have a good area for themselves, and if the circle moves back again south, that means this fight still continues. So this fight, it depends on the next circle only if the players will leave this fight or if the players will continue this fight. That's how much this is. And in the entire other lobby, no other fight is happening.
Exactly. There's nothing else happening in the entire lobby alongside just this. And in that, when you talk about the way BFM have got themselves positioned, it is just phenomenal, because that is, I believe, the highest hill that is in there. But the way this was just perfectly worked out, was beautiful. And another thing to talk about is going to be how they got up there, right? Because that is where I remember we saw BTR in long back. It was like the World League, perhaps, where indeed it was BTR and the Jeep, or the 4X car that was brought them all the way up on top on that incline.
I remember. That was Box Lewis.
Yes.
And he was using that truck for himself.
Exactly.
And the verticality, the gravity-defying movement by Box Lewis. We all remember that movement.
And that's exactly, I believe, how BFM have gotten themselves up there with the buggy and the other vehicle.
Yeah, I mean, they know if you just want to use it, just use your vehicles in the right way.
Wow. It's almost like sticking.
So that's the thing. Now Imbliss knows it never happens on foot.
It never does. It never ever does. I mean, the only thing that they're missing, of course, is that vehicle and that grip control that the vehicles have when it comes to especially the map of Miramar. But in that, we're looking at a rotation coming in from the side of NES, and that is North Esports, and there is going to be no team going to be contesting them. But up above, if we notice, if their rotation is going to be bringing them down towards El Pozo, there will be Hellraisers as well as Team Stoner who are still stuck in that exact compound.
They are still in that one building and not taking any fight. That's one thing for sure. We're talking about Royal, talking about TE, talking about GHAZI. Yeah, so the circle goes north. That means teams have to move. That changes everything.
Perfect. Now the conversation goes down towards how patient are BFM, Arcadians, and Immobilist going to be in this situation. Because again, they are stuck on that small little hill. And that mountain, whichever team decides to leave first, will be in the crosshairs of BFM. If BFM decide to leave first, of course, the audio cues are going to be given away to Arcadians as well as Immobilist, and the vehicles could very well be damaged as they make that rotation. But in that, all the other teams are comfortably going to be moving on down towards the circle itself. And with the looks of it, it is going to be a conversation about TS and, of course, Hellraisers.
Yeah.
What are they going to do?
Yeah, that's true. But now I want to see what happens. I mean, Immobilist, they are picking up those smoke grenades and everything, just, carrying up their loot. But now they want to fight. They're like, let's just move away. But, before that, let's just create a bit of a chaos against the opponents. And Arcadians, both the players were just sitting out there. They were not even phased by those grenades. They were like, no, they're not hitting us. We know that for sure. So, sorry to burst your bubble. But now, Immobilist, the players will have to move up against the circle. They have started BFM as well. Look at the players of Team BFM. They just ran away. Now Arcadians is the last team just out here. And that team also has to just, get inside the circle. And the players are looking really good. We saw the golden Mirador. Oh, that's a good jump. That's a good jump. That's the perfect landing. Perfect landing happening by that vehicle.
Absolutely, and with that, of course, we see BFM's approach with all individual vehicles for themselves. The entire team is in spread out vehicles and fanned out approach, and with that, of course, now it seems like Hunter is having a little bit of problem trying to get up that hill, but nevertheless, he will, of course, be able to just work it around and get himself moving along. But in that, Immobilist are also making that rotation. So should Arcadians be, of course. They would have already gotten the sound cues and would be, of course, wanting to get away from that situation. The sooner the better, because the sooner you move away from that and into the circle, the better chances that you will find yourself in a decent position within the circle and perhaps in a better compound as well. That'll give you not only the advantage of being there first, but also the advantage of then getting your crosshairs set up and ready to look out for other teams' rotations and get that information relayed onto your team and bring in that domination and early aggression as you stop the team from that rotation itself. But right here, of course, we are looking at Immobilist Khan and Scout in that one vehicle, and of course right behind them is going to be BFM.
Yeah, that is true how it is. But now, if we just talk about everything, right, you can see BFM Shari just moving up forward, up again, so onto the areas, and slowly and steadily just trying to make it inside the circle. And that's one thing that he's been doing, the players have been doing. AW in the 4th airdrop. Well, I would take that if I was on that hilly area and I wanted to, just take some players down.
Absolutely, that is going to be the control. That is going to be the gun that you want to be able to control right now. Because again, when it comes to Miramar, in certain sense, having those sort of snipers and of course will be the domination that you can bring in. But with that, perfect. Hellraisers have moved away from that compound, and Team Stoner has moved away from that compound, and now are in this circle. But they are not that far away from each other though. So again, we could very well be looking on towards Hellraisers as well as, of course, Immobilist being at top of that mountain. Now, this is going to be an interesting affair where Team Stoner, of course, they were only a 3-man team, having lost that one player, are a 2-man army stuck in that small little shack. Immobilist were the first ones to make that rotation and, of course, have the upper hill advantage. Hellraisers again. Hellraisers every single time. They separate themselves. It's not the kind of play that is working for you guys. You need to stick together as a team. But this far of fanned out approach, it could be detrimental for this team right now.
Yeah, it could be in this one. But, well, Immobilist, you see Scout, Afnan and Khan, they are still on the back end side as well. And right now, they have a good area for themselves. But still, we have to see, how much longer can they take this one. GHAZI takes down Funka. And now this might be a bad thing. But, well, great. Oh, the reload was happening once again. And this time, the reload actually takes him down. He had 20 bullets, but still he wanted to reload. That's one thing. Adnan is still out here. Scout, all right, well, so many knocks and confirmations just happening, and Adnan is onto the back side, and he wants to stay just out there. Yeah, it's the choice right now. Obviously, you cannot just rush up onto this area. GHAZI Khan, meanwhile, oh, he's just out there. He's getting shot from behind, though. He needs to go for a revival as well on his teammate as GHAZI Bhai is out there. GHAZI Chan also needs a revive. He spots one, and he's trying to take him down. Well, lots and lots of damage just happening onto him. He does try and get success in taking one player down. Goes for the finish. He needs a first aid. That's one thing that obviously, is just out of the reach. I mean, he does not have a first aid right now.
Exactly, and that's going to give BFM the time to be able to push on alongside the compound of GHAZI, because again, you cannot just walk away with one medkit. Well, if you had a medkit, that would have been perfect, but since you do not have a medkit, you're going to have to use the bandages, and those bandages, just one of them is not going to be able to capitalize or give you the kind of health boost that you want. But along with that, of course, BFM taking a low-key approach that is going to be Sharky, and he is the only one man remaining, because again, he did not have the information towards how many members of the team GHAZI are, of course, in that compound. So making that rush all by himself, all alone, would have, of course, been disastrous. But on the other side, we look on to ESN, bringing in some control and bringing in some early domination as well, down towards the side of knockout from the looks of it. And this is TS, that is Team Stoner, have left that small little shack and are making a pretty long move away from Immobilist, because again, they just want to be able to survive. They just want to be able to get those placement points. They cannot get themselves stuck in this position.
Well, Faizan takes down Trey, and that's the end of BFM Esports, as you can see. And talking about TS, it might just be a bad thing. Immobilist, the players are moving up forward once again, and as you can see, Malko and Fozzy, they are just out there. Oh, the grenades are being lofted down from the other direction, but well, we'll still have to see how things just go down. Oh, they spot each other. Scout takes down one, and there it is, the ending that happens. Team Stoners gets eliminated. Scout did a 1v2 in this one.
Oh yes, he did. He had the support of course, Khan and Afnan, but he was the one who was making these perfect burst from his gun and was able to, of course, bring down both the players of Team Stoner, which again they're not going to be too happy about, but it's okay because they were moved on towards 11th. That was the one. That was the position that they went back into the lobby, so they will get some placement points and they will get a few kill points along with that as well. But now this is going to be an open all-out war, because now when the circle is going to be pushing all of these teams to get into the circle, there are going to be a lot of teams that are going to be out in the open, and the conversation moves towards the other teams that have already got themselves set up in the compound. Well, they could very well capitalize on those pushes coming in from all of the other teams.
Well, Royal Charlie, you can see he did get one airdrop as he has level 3 helmet and vest, and obviously that AUG that he has, he's going to enjoy it because obviously AUG is one of the most controlled guns in this environment. We just want to talk about it. NES Hammer, alright, low on HP. Royal Harry started it, Royal Gangster ended it. That's the story that NES is just seeing right now. They've spot on Maxi as well, so that's going to be one thing. But Team GHAZI, Immobilis is really close to them, so this is going to be a 4v3 affair.
Absolutely, and in that, which is Immobilis, that is certainly looking in control, and of course bringing in that control into aggression towards the side of GHAZI's Bhai, and Bhai seems to be using a few bandages to get his health all back set and sorted. But on the other side, on the different compound, it is of course going to be GHAZI's all the other 3 team members, and that of course is the backup that Bhai has right now. He's trying to just look out for the information. Scout is making a little bit of movement, but it seems like Bhai has not been able to get any of the information thus far. He should be able to spot that helmet, and he does, and with that, a knock coming in the favor of Bhai, and GHAZI's player are in control. Now it has turned into a 4v2 situation where indeed GHAZI's Bhai have decided, or rather the entire team of GHAZI has decided that they need to start pushing on along, and Immobilists are in a bit of a dupe, and this is not looking good. With that perfect grenade, this could be Scout as well as Afnan taking a lot of damage.
2 grenades have been lofted down. It does do damage, and you can see the third one. This might just do the job. Another one goes down. The grenade was just out there. What's gonna happen in this situation? Takes the player down again. Now it's Afnan who's surviving, but for how long? For how long can he just take this fight? GHAZI Bhai takes 2 kills, and Wazir helps on to the sidelines as GHAZI Wazir gets 3.
Wow, and with that, of course, it was a 4v3 situation. All 4 members of the team GHAZI will be able to walk away from the situation, no problem at all. But that small little skirmish has certainly given away information towards the side of Royal as well, and there it is. Royal are taking fights on the other side altogether towards the side of Arc, and that is going to be, of course, Arcadians. They are making that rotation in the open, and that's what I was talking about earlier. With that AUG in his control, it is going to be perfect, but eventually, though, it is a pretty far off distance that he's trying to cover up, which is not going to be, well, again, it certainly could, because again, it is an open area, and so Royal Charlie has control, but GHAZI could very well utilize that capitalization. All perfect control once again coming in from ESN, and finally we have ESN, and they have been, Star has been sorted by ESN, and it is going to be 1 kill confirmed from the side of ESN Jute, and he knows that Star has another 2 team members who are waiting in that small little house, but for how long is the conversation? The Hassan has taken a knock. It is also in this game, ESN is playing just as a 3-man team, and with that, Star is slowly and steadily being knocked out, and Adnan all the way back up top could, never mind, as I bring that up, Adnan is gone.
He does go down. Team Arcadians, just following up onto the areas. We're down to 6 teams right now, and NES is in a lot of trouble. Max is still surviving, but for how long can he survive? That's the question. As you can see, TE this time it's Expandables Day, and they are playing it in a really good fashion as they have the grenades. They have the grenades just lofted down, and the location has been compromised from NES Maxi's side. But are they going to go and take this fight? That's the question, because both of these teams, I mean, one solo and one team, they are still outside the circle. But I guess Maxi, his location is compromised from the back and side. You can see the players just going out. They want every part of the fight. They want to get this fight. But the thing is that Maxi is getting shot from behind. This might be the last one. If one more shot just compromises him, he goes down, and the grenade does the job. Ban uses the grenade, takes him out. Now the thing is that how TE will move forward, because they are being shot down again. You can see Thug is getting shot from the upper side.
Exactly, and that is the team of Royals that have the upper hand advantage of this entire position. So that does give away that TE is not going to be able to get themselves expanded from this back end of this small, or rather warehouse basically. But ESN is segregated. ESN Jute takes a knock. There is team members around, but they will not be able to help him out because, again, as soon as they try and do so right now, it is going to be Royals as well as the other side, which is going to be the team that will make them suffer for this, and that is exactly what is happening. Expendables certainly making them suffer for this because they brought in to the open and tried to give that revival. Is not going to work in their favor, and TE bring in another team down from the looks of it.
Well, we are down to 5 teams, but look at this. TE, yeah, they were trying to bring one team down, and they did that perfectly, but they did lose one player by Royal Doctor, who takes down one. Clown has been taken down as well. I mean, he takes down Hassan as well, and Doctor takes down Clown. That's brilliant, the way the players are playing right now. And talking about Team GHAZI, they have 9 kills. How much more, how much longer can they go? Talking about Team GHAZI, Expandables, Royals, and Star Ops does not have any kills, but they are playing it for placement points. But Charlie, can he or can he not take more and more kills? The EUG, he needs to start getting kills for the team because he has none, but the team has 4. So he needs to go with his contribution as well right now.
Absolutely, and he's got the gun to be able to bring in that domination. Now the only conversation is going to be how exactly he's going to be able to capitalize on that. And a perfect nade coming in that has certainly brought GHAZI's player down. And another nade coming in that is going to confirm Khan being sent back into the lobby. And indeed, he does get himself that 1 kill.
Well, now he starts up, and he starts up really good. The way the grenades did the damage. We're talking about the gun, but he uses the grenades and just, changes the game for himself. They are 35 meters away from the circle. That's one thing. Star, if you're talking about this team, the duo, as you can see, is just a bit away from the circle, and they are moving slowly still inside the zone. But the thing is that there is one team right next to them, and they have to be careful. M4 3 times, it can be used in a really good situation, but they have to make the best out of it. GHAZI, look at this. Being one with the nature right now, all he has to do is take these players and look good doing it.
Absolutely, and he certainly has the information as he sees those perfect lobs coming in with the smoke wall that Star is wanting to create. He is going to be reflecting that information down to his teammates as well, but right now there is no conversion of those information into kills thus far. But of course now is the time that he decides to do so, and with a perfect control red dot, he has got that knock right off the bat within a matter of seconds. And now as he decides to push on along, he should and probably would be able to get that kill in his favor. No, that is not the case. GHAZI certainly taken a kill from Star as the other player came in to revive his teammate. And right here we talk about Royal were looking in a pretty good position, but right now they are being extended and expended from the side of Expendables. Expendables has a 2-man army pushing them along, and in that doing so, it is making Royals a bit of a tricky position putting themselves in.
Well, look at Fury up still outside the circle, and that is going to be a bad thing. I mean, he is reduced to just doing the heal battle. Royal Harry, I mean, Doctor is still surviving, but for how long can he survive? He goes down as well. GHAZI, they have 13 kills. The duo is looking really good, but it's going to be a fight against the players of TE. They go down. Starops, they are just out there. They're still doing that heal battle. What will it be? The second push or the first push? But no, it's a 1v1. GHAZI was here. He takes him down. It's one player surviving. Can he take this win from outside the circle? It's a long shot though. Just as one final first hit now. He is in the buggy. Is the buggy moving? Yes, he is. Can he make inside the circle? That's the question. Barely or not. No, he goes down. No, he survives. 1 HP is what he's surviving on right now. How much longer can he take it? All right, he goes down. He came in just to give the kill.
Wow, but indeed doing so has resulted in that team of Star getting themselves second position. That is looking really good. But on the other side, of course, Team GHAZI, that perfectly controlled aggression from this team has brought them 16 kills in this one, along with, of course, the chicken dinner, and thus leading them down to 31 points in total.
Well, think about it. One player, he still manages to get inside the circle.
Yep.
2 extra first hits got him 2 extra points. 10 and 12, the placement point thing. That was brilliant. That was brilliant, just healing out there.
Absolutely, and just perfectly timed as well, because there was Expendables over there as well, and had Expendables not gone out at that moment, it probably would have resulted in Star going out third. But nevertheless, again, I mean, the previous game, TE were looking really A-okay, but now they're looking phenomenal.
Team GHAZI, the win is surely really good. It's really good with the kill points that they have. They enjoyed each and every kill. Talking about the fact that they took each and every fight in their hands. TE as well. Once there was a time when they were outside the circle, then they made it inside the circle in a really good way. So all the teams in the top 4, I would say, phenomenal play from all top 4 of them. And with that, let's move on towards the most valuable player from this game, and that is, of course, Team GHAZI's Wazir, bringing in 7 kills with 616 damage and 227 healing done with 2 assists in a time of 30 minutes and 28. Wazir was surely, moving the chess pieces in the game as he was doing it. 7 kills, impressive. And given the fact, obviously, this game, it showcased like one thing, right?
Right.
30 minutes of a game.
Exactly.
That's how long it just went, and it's good given the fact that Sanhok was just like what 21, 22 minutes. This one was just a stretch. Let's have a look at the top 4 players as well, and it's gonna be GHAZI's players, and then it's Immobiles of Nan. Brilliant.
Wow. 3 players of GHAZI themselves. With Wazir is of course Bhai and Khan, and that was just perfect play coming in from them, and the aggression that they showcased against Immobilist as well was on point, and Immobilist getting that 4th top player list. That is going to be of Nan indeed, with 697 damage and 2 kills. Looking a-okay thus far, no problem at all, and that is of course going to result in the matches standing as well, because they did bring in a lot of kills for themselves, but Team GHAZI were just a class apart with 16 kills, 31 points, but followed by Expendables. Like I said, previous game was a-okay, but this one they've just proved their worth in metal, and with that they get 17 kills, followed by Royals with 14 kills.
Yeah, talk about the Royals. They had good 14 points for themselves. Star Ops 1 kill, but 13 points with the placement number. Esports Nation, they have 10 points for themselves. If we talk about the other teams as well, just moving up forward, let's talk about Magnus in this one. A few mistakes can cost you a full match. That's what we learned from this one.
Absolutely, and talk about Knockout as well. Not looking too good in that play, but Arcadians did hold themselves strong. BFM a bit of an interesting approach that they had when they were on top of that hill, but that early, or rather the rotation that came in did not favor them, because there were the teams that were in their way to stop them in their tracks. But indeed, beautiful plays coming in. Let's of course also talk about, or rather look at, the Oppo moments themselves and find out the wonderful plays that were brought on in this game.
In this one, obviously, you know how the game decided, right? The cat and mouse chase, and
right.
we just, talking about this one. But this is where, Magnus kind of lost their edge. They started off good. You can see, the initial fight, but now when you talk about the Ridge area, Ridge kind of becomes a gamble. And now for Oreo, which player to shoot? There are 2 players on me, so that kind of just changes a lot of things.
Absolutely, and talk about GHAZI, of course, in the initial one, they were in that lower end, but they were, of course, just holding strong into that compound, and as soon as the position worked in their favor, they rotated out of there and converted the entire game in their favor.
Yeah, that's true. GHAZI Khan, obviously, just doing really good for himself and for the team. But right now, Emil Scout, obviously, just spots down the players, go for the rush and everything, and they do it nicely. So this was good. Scout thought like, the players shooting on me, but well, the fight did come into the hands of GHAZI, and this was a brilliant fight. But Maxi, the grenade on him just changed the pace for them.
Absolutely, and it was Royals, thanks to Royals as well, that they were on that upper hill and were able to, of course, bring NES down to their knee, and of course the capitalization was for the other team. But eventually, again, you talk about these final fights and the final battle itself, GHAZI were in control through and through. They had the information through and through, and in that, of course, TE tried their level best to stand out, but they could not, as they went 2 versus 2, and it was down to Star, who did finally move in to die.
He did move in. He thought, like, he might as well just get a bit of a time. Had he had a bit of a time, he would be putting one more first hit and then taking up a fight. Things would happen different.
Absolutely. The way he positioned his vehicle as well, that's what I was looking at, that probably he's going to be able to get a little bit of cover from those vehicles itself. But eventually, the way he jumped out, and GHAZI was already ready. So, but eventually, it was a wonderful play coming in from so many of these teams. And with that, when it comes to wonderful plays, that is the 3rd game done. Only 1 more game remain. The overall standing is going to be showcasing what team can now do it, and what team, well, has to just accept that their dream is gone.
Just as I was saying, Magnus, this is what they lose on. They had this game. They were stuck at 139 points because they did not get any points. So last game, can they cross 150? That's the question. That's the this is their last game for today as well. Obviously they are top, but the thing is they have to showcase that game with utter brilliance if they want to just go with this one. North Esports on the 2nd right now, and talking about the other teams as well, you could see a few good names out in this one. Team GHAZI, Knockout, they are trying good. And Team GHAZI with this chicken, they are looking really good.
Absolutely, with that 1 chicken and 42 kills, they are on the 10th right now and looking very comfortable, but they're going to have to keep on with that aggression as they move on along with today's game, which is going to be the final game. And again, as so perfectly mentioned, Expendables, they have showcased a wonderful turn of events for themselves, but they need to keep on and pushing along, because again, there are 2 groups remaining. Even though today you might make it to the top 16, you have to place yourself in the top 16 with the best of the best points. Otherwise, the teams that are going to be playing tomorrow, they are going to be throwing you off that chart.
Yeah, and talking about this one, just so now we just see, Hellraisers, Lost Esports, and Team Stoners. Now what these teams can do is just, go YOLO.
They ought to.
You got nothing to lose. Just go with anything and just, try and take the fight.
Perhaps. I mean, that is just a tough thing to look at, because again, you talk about Hellraisers.
What's the worst thing that can happen? You might just get eliminated, but what's the best thing that can happen? You get kills.
You get kills, exactly, and that is what the game is for. And with that, we're going to go on a very short break, after which, of course, is going to be the final game that once again will be on Erangel. Hello and welcome back once again for the final game between Group C and Group A. This is going to be the deciding moment for so many of these teams, and joining me alongside is going to be Super Johnny to cast this game.
Yeah, hey, what's up? I mean, it's an absolute pleasure to be here, and it's going to be super exciting. Last game for some of the, in fact, all of the teams for the group stages, in fact, but could very well be the last game for some of the teams if they fail to qualify for the finals. But look at this. This is an amazing way to start things off. Mobile is just taking down Believe and finishing him off. They catch him off guard.
With that, within just 1.5 minutes of them landing, this is turning into all-out war from all of these teams, and Immobilist are in control. Satan is the first one bringing that kill, I believe, but on the other side, Lost Esports have gotten the information and hopefully should be able to retaliate for that. Kill is not what they wanted, but have not been able to capitalize on that at all.
Exactly. I mean, at this point already, they have taken down Junaid as well, but in this sort of a situation, Iconic is one man you do not want to go against. Look at this. He has a DBS and another shotgun on his back. So close range combat situations is exactly what Iconic is waiting for. But on the other side, he has his teammate Myth, who has managed to get himself an M4. Well, we can see some painkillers as well. I hope he has some utility, because grenades are going to be really crucial for them to actually stop the Immobilists before they engage in a situation. So Iconic and Myth just setting up a crossfire between themselves in this room. And Immobilist, are they going to be risky enough to actually go in for a firefight? No, one of the teammates from the outside, we saw him with a grenade.
Yep, he is ready with a grenade that is probably going to be lodged into that small little apartment room that they're in. Along with that, of course, Lost Esports not looking too good right now. They are in that small little shack there on the other side, and Myth has been pushed on towards one side of the room. This is going to be perfectly, of course, information is going to be relayed down towards the man outside, and this could be troublesome for the side of Lost Esports. But indeed, with that, we see Immobilist Satan preparing another grenade, and Lost Esports being knocked out.
Oh no, Iconic took the risk of stepping out of the room and trying to take on the player on the stairs, and well, ladies and gentlemen, Lost Esports, they are lost. They have lost this game, in fact. But on the other side, Arcadians in a scuffle of their own.
Absolutely.
Stala actually took down one of the opponents from the opposing team. Is he going to be able to confirm the kill? We're going to find out in a few short moments. But Immobilist off to a really good start.
Off to a great start is where it is at. But indeed, on the other side, of course, we saw Team Stoner, a 3-man army, taken one knock, and I believe that has been confirmed into a kill as well. Yes, it has. So this has turned into Arcadians 4v2 situation, where the situation is certainly in favor of Arcadians, but the push that has been brought on against the side of TS is not looking good in favor of them. And with that, Arcadians bring out another knock, and Leo, the only man remaining for the side of Team Stoner. Team Stoner is going to have to face this situation with, well, open arms.
Yeah, with open arms, with grace, if you will. And that is what 4G is trying to do. AKM in hand, he tries to go for a knock, but no, he is going to be finished off as Tala just, well, he runs up the stairs, finishes him off, and what might have looked like a moment of teabagging wasn't. He was actually looting from his crate. But moving forward in the match, ladies and gentlemen. Now, so we already started off with 15 teams in the lobby, and we are down to 13 now, as 2 have been picked off. So Team Stoners, they took an exit. Lost Esports, they took an exit. Other than that, I think Royals could be in some trouble. They are close to the Arcadian, but it looks like they are moving towards the southern edge of the main island. Hellraisers actually have a wonderful position for themselves in Lower Epnoi right now. Good for the early stages, but once they decide to cross over to the main island, they could be in some trouble.
They certainly could be in a little bit of trouble. And talking about the chart toppers, it is of course Team Magnus that is on the northwestern side of the map, up towards Zarki rather, and they have the entire area towards them. Now again, we've noticed this team do so many times on the map of Erangel, where eventually they end up making a rotation down towards Saverni into the circle itself. But for now, they are looking comfortable, and if at all that circle does shift towards them, they're going to be that much more perfectly set up for that rotation. But moving the conversation towards all the other teams, they are in a very comfortable position. All the teams are very segregated from each other, and so when you talk about early skirmishes, it's only Royal That is Gangster. That is far, far away from his team.
Yeah, 3 players towards the southern side of Farm, and Gangster actually did manage to evade the players of Arcadian or sort of avoid them and make it to the southern edge of the main island. Now all he has to do is regroup with his teammate, but the Arcadians are heading in his direction. If they find him out all alone, we all know what's going to happen. It's going to be a 1v4 situation, and Gangster, well, he's going to get ganged up upon and finished off.
From the looks of it, that certainly could be the case, and Arcadians maybe have spotted them, maybe not entirely sure, but they certainly have brought their vehicles to a stop right there, and that is exactly the last known location of Gangster. And yes, Gangster has been knocked. He was able to knock down one player of Arcadians, but eventually, of course, it is a 4v1 situation that will not be able to favor Gangster whatsoever at all, and the gank up that we just talking about, Johnny, has just taken place, and Arcadians once again walking away with now they've got 4 kills in their favor, I believe.
Yeah, they have 4 kills. I mean, finishing off 3 players of Team Stoners and now picking off Gangsters. So Arcadians off to a very good start in this matchup. And Arcadians is one of those teams that, I mean, you never know when these guys are going to pop off. They have been showing up in every single PMCO, in every single major tournament that has taken place in the region of Pakistan, and have made a name for themselves with the sort of cautious gameplay that they have, would be one way to put it. Because Arcadians, one thing you would notice is that this is by far one of the most aggressive matches that I've seen from them. Other than that, Arcadians, they are really good with their rotations. And what? 4 make it 5 as Tala actually managed to fight another player off guard. So this time, Arcadians, it looks like they're going on a hunt. They're just looking for people who are not with their teams, who are completely isolated. They're finding them, finishing them off in the early stages of the match.
Wow, this is just perfectly timed and controlled aggression coming in from the side of Arcadians. Exactly what is needed from them, because after all, this is the final game that they're going to be playing, and for that they need to get themselves really good position, and of course with that kills as well, so as to be able to get perfect points and setting themselves in the top 16 with a comfortable top 16. Because again, we know that tomorrow there are 2 more groups that are going to be playing, and if you're not in a comfortable top 16 position with points, you will probably be knocked down from there. Because you talk about the other 2 groups, that also has a lot of firepower, and with that, Arcadians on the run with, or rather towards the side of Expendables. They have moved into the compound of Expendables, and they are here to dominate once again. Utilities will probably be utilized in this situation, where indeed Arcadians are setting themselves up with nades, and there you go. You've already got the controlled aggression being just completely forced towards the side of Expendables, and Expendables out and in the open. Oh no, not yet. They are still in that track and are of course going to want to control this aggression coming in from the side of Arcadians, and Arcadians do take a knock from the side of Thug, and with that the information is going to be relayed from the side of Kaizen, and there is Talam, who is there to perhaps give a revival, to perhaps give a little bit of a support from the side. But indeed, it is Psycho who has just left the building. He's going up towards the northern side of that hill and probably want to utilize that and give a bit more information down to the side of Expendables.
Yeah, they're trying to get a flank on the Arcadians, but Arcadians in a really good position. Faison going for a revive on his teammate, but are they going to get that? That is going to be a really, really big question. Well, they do get the revive, and with that, the Expendables, they are put up in a tough situation. It is a 2 versus 4 right now. Arcadians, as soon as they make it into the ground floor of this barn house, which they actually have right now, since Faison has managed to find his way in, now the Expendables are in trouble. So the nades are going to be popped from the outside. 2 people are going to go in, and they're going to try and charge the stairs, try and pick off these players of the Expendables. Look at this. Tala goes into the back lines, picks off Psycho, and Psycho is going to be finished off.
Absolutely, and that was just perfect control from Tala right there. The information was shared to him exactly how, no idea whatsoever at all. Of course, they would have heard the audio cues from the side of course, Expendables as they made that rotation up north to be able to get a bit more information. But the way Tala was in control of that, that is just phenomenal. That is just GG play, God level play indeed. I mean, the sight that you need to have without having a sight on your gun to be able to get that far a knock is beautiful, I would say. But yes, with that, of course, this is Arcadians, the team of Arcadians, who have once again sent another team back into the lobby.
Yeah, they are putting up a phenomenal performance right now. And, well, I would see how many kills can they rack up before the game actually comes to an end, or they are picked off. Because this level of aggression, usually your luck is going to run out. Because every single fight the Arcadians have had up until now has been with them having a massive advantage in terms of numbers. Like first couple of few, like 3 versus 4, then a 1v4 situation, another 1v4, then a 2v4 situation. So there is going to come a time when they're going to be outnumbered in a situation. It's going to be a 4v4 and they are getting backstabbed just because of how aggressive they are. They need to watch out for that situation. But for now, Royals, they've got one of the players from the side of Hellraisers off guard, and Ninja was taken down, but Adnan is here for the revive.
Absolutely, for now there is a little bit of help for Ninja, but indeed they're only a 3-man squad playing this game, and Hellraisers till now they have not been able to convert this day into their favor, and they need to go a bit YOLO, but not this sort of YOLO, because they're running in the open, and that of course is going to be detrimental. And there is Doctor right here to do the surgery on towards the side of the range, and Hellraisers certainly have a little bit of smoke being popped towards the side of the range for some, well, basically for some cover. But for how long will that smoke be able to help you? You are in the open. As soon as you get away from this position, it is just time to GG and call it quits, because that is what is going to happen. But with that, Arcadians now, it is going against C4, and it is an all-out war between these two wonderful teams. It is a 4v4 situation where both of the teams have had one knock, Gulfam down on the side of C4 and Tala down on the side of, and with that, Ahmed bringing another player of Arcadian down. That is going to be Faizan down, and that brings the conversation now towards a 3v2 situation where indeed C4 already has the lost player being revived, and a confirmation coming in from the side of C4 towards Arcadians. So Arcadians is now going to be a 3-man team, and revival is going to be a must. But eventually, along with that, when it comes to the aggression coming in from the side of C4, this will not be allowed, and that is exactly what is going down here. With that, they've got a 3v1 situation, and that is going to be the end of that fight.
See, this is what I was talking about. You were having situations handed to you wherein you clearly had a massive advantage. It was numbers in your favor, but all that aggression needs to be controlled. Arcadians with 8 kills, they take an exit on the 12th position. But I mean, we're at the 12-minute mark. We're already down to 11 teams. What is going on in this matchup? It's way too aggressive. This match is way too fast. All right, so moving on to the other side, we have Magnus, the players of Magnus on our screens right now. The last time you and I casted, I was telling you, like, these guys are veterans, right? So I was trying to remember actually which team they used to play it for, and then it all came back to me after the game when I went back and looked up on the previous watch. So it all started with Gaming Hub. And that is a roster that I think is going to reminisce with a lot of our audience with the team, because it was a huge banner that these lads used to play under. Then move forward with Next Gen Esports, and now finally we see them with the banner of Magnus Esports. So they know exactly what they're doing and how they need to play their cards. But so far, I mean, Skeps from the side of Magnus, he has been taken down by another team from the other direction. So not really watching their flanks, is going to fall back a little and is going to wait for the revive to come in. But the nade from the opposing side actually drops him really low.
Absolutely, and that team is going to be the third-party team, is going to be NES, that is North Esports, that is up on top of that hill. And with that, they are certainly helping out the situation for the side of Star, because Magnus has had that 1 kill confirmed, and that is Skeps going back into the lobby. With that, they are at a disadvantage. But with that, of course, we also see that Star is making their own moves, and NES has been knocked out. This is turning into quite an interesting scenario where, of course, NES has the information, they've got the uphill advantage, but at the same point of time, Magnus and Star, this is going to be a war that could rather go either ways, because there's Immobilist around the corner as well, bringing in a lot more demise down towards the side of course, both of these teams.
Well, definitely the demise is going to come in, but who is going to be the one handing it, and to who? Stars, they are cornered down inside their houses, because if they step out, Next Gen Esports is right there to finish them off. Immobile is taking on ESN right now, and Immobile is Satan, he's going to be taken down. Scout is going to be finished off by a nade from Waleed. So Afnan is the last man surviving. It's 3-man down, Immobilist, and more nades are being popped. Oh no, Ninja, who is really low, gets knocked out as well. It's a 1 versus 4 situation right now. Afnan trying to hide, but he gets shot at by Chut, and he is going to be finished off, sent back to the lobby. Not really a way that Immobilist thought the game was going to go, but ladies and gentlemen, we're down to 10 teams and 35 players alive in this match, and it's only been 14 minutes.
Absolutely, the kind of aggression that all these teams are wanting to showcase in this final battle in day number 5 is just phenomenal, because they all want to start fighting for that position in the top 16, and they certainly do want to be representing their country of Pakistan. But eventually, again, as you move on along towards this fight that has been going on for forever, NES has brought down 2 of their players behind the compound of Star, and they're probably wanting to rush against the side of Star indeed, and the knocks are certainly coming in. With that, NES has themselves fanned out 2 players down towards the bottom, or rather the back end of that compound, and 2 players up on the hill itself. And with that, Magnus is probably going to be able to utilize this situation into their control as well, where indeed you look at Adil and Weekend having a fanned out approach, but on the other side is of course going to be GHAZI. Now Magnus, if they decide to walk away from this, which direction are they going to go towards? They do have a car, but they do not have any way to run away from this. They have to take a fight, or they could very well just stay low and let NES complete the team of Star. And that's exactly what is going on with the utility usage coming in from the side of NES. It is just perfect annihilating play coming in. And of course now the conversation is ESN. You see up top there is ESN. How exactly are they going to be able to capitalize on this?
Well, that is going to be a really big question for now. We do see Cops tossing up nades towards the players of Magnus. Star on the other side taking on the players of NES as well. So they're taking 2 fights at the same time. Oh, the precision of the nades. I don't think the players realize what is hitting them right now and how Cops is doing that. Alright, so a smoke being tossed, it means they are planning to aggress, they are planning to close the distance, but first the revive needs to come in. They need to worry about the players of NES as well. Fury was the one who was knocked out. He's going to get a revive right now. And it is MK actually, the man who was tossing the nades. I'm sorry, it is Ops at the end of every single player of Team Star. I just realized that. But going up against Magnus, this is not going to be easy. What is MK exactly doing? He's out in the ridge, out in the open, can be in some trouble, and that is why.
Well, that is just perfect nade coming in from the side of Oreo, and Magnus bringing that situation back to a 3v3. But in that conversation, where is NES? They ought to be able to see that Oreo is out in the open. Where exactly is that control aggression that we earlier saw coming in from the side of NES that were on top of that hill on towards the right-hand side? For now, it is nowhere to be seen, and Magnus trying to capitalize on this position that they've got. They have, of course, left the safety of their compound and now are either going to be making a rotation or are going to be flanking from the side of Star, perhaps, but that of course we shall see as to how exactly is that going to pan out. With that, all of them going down towards their individual vehicles, and probably the idea right now is to just get away. Perhaps that is the position that Magnus is wanting to take. Let's quickly keep ourselves in check and get out of this situation, because we are at the top of the leaderboard, but right now getting ourselves hurt like this is not going to pan in our favor.
Well, definitely, and since they won't be playing tomorrow, they have to make sure that they get as many points as they can today, so that the first position that they have going into the finals does not get taken away from them, because this is going to be like a good practice run, right? You have 3 slots from the finals moving forward to PMPL South Asia. Better make sure that you're practicing to keep yourself within those 3 positions and not getting out of it. All right, so Adil is actually trying to get the UAZ in a better position from where it cannot be taken down by the players who are on top of that hill. But these teams need to worry about something else right now. Both of them are outside the circle. They have to worry about taking damage from the blue zone as well. This is the 4th circle, and if they take those damages, then this fight can go either way. And I think possibly the outside catalyst, the players of NES, are going to be the one breaking the equilibrium in this situation.
Absolutely, from the looks of it, because of the positioning itself, it is certainly going to be helping them out. But eventually, again, when it comes to Star and the side of course, Magnus, what exactly is their position going to be in this entire fight? It certainly seems like they have made the rotation as the circle was coming on along, and it is going to be the conversation for now from the side of Magnus. They do know that there is a team of NES up there, and so therefore they're going for the long rotation in towards the circle, and perhaps towards the center of the circle itself. Not yet. They are wanting to take a fight towards NES, and that's exactly what they will work towards. Same is the conversation from the side of Star as well, as they do realize that it is time to move, and they have started, or rather decided, to move on towards the side of NES.
Look at the circle though. The circle takes a massive shift. No one anticipated that. There's absolutely no one inside the circle right now. The teams in Pochinki are stuck. NES is in a bad position because NES, they thought, oh, these teams are going to fight among themselves and we're going to pick off whoever left. Well, surprise, surprise. Star and Magnus have pinned NES down, and they have sandwiched the squad right now. They can potentially finish them off, but given the fact that both of them need to engage, and at the same time, Magnus taking the fight against Star as well, so the third party situation has actually in fact become a party right now. No one cares who they are shooting at as long as someone from the opposing 2 team goes down.
Absolutely, and with that, we saw NES that is Snow from the side of NES, who has a really damaged helmet as well as a vest, which is not going to be working in his favor, but he is certainly bringing in that aggression in the form of utilities being thrown towards the side of Magnus. Magnus have not really gotten a lot of trouble from any of those utilities, so they are looking in control as of now, but they are trying to get above the side, and wow, what a perfect play from C4. They have knocked down 3 players from the side of GHAZI. It is going to be a perfect aggression from Gulfam, who we've seen again and again bring in some perfectly timed control aggression from the side of, wow, what a play. NES stopping the push coming in from Star, and Star is going to go down right there. NES is in control of this hill for now, but taking the conversation back towards Ahmed of C4, he is on top of the side of GHAZI, and GHAZI is now going to get eliminated, perhaps back into the lobby.
Yeah, so this is going to be the king of the hill situation right here that we have ourselves in. Oh, look at this. So Hawk actually tried to use the Hawkeye and was trying to spray on the opponents that he could see in the distance, but the distance being a little bit too much. Also, the terrain actually working out in the favor of the team he was trying to shoot at. Magnus, the players find themselves stuck and pinned down in a shack. They're using the gaps of the walls to try and take down a few of the players around them. 20 minutes inside of the match, we are down to 7 teams, 21 players alive, an open area situation. And as I said, the high ground is definitely going to be required to get the victory. Oh no, Royals get eliminated. They come across the players of ESN, and ESN was like, hey, time to get some kills.
Absolutely, royal end to their wonderful saga it has been, but indeed move the conversation towards C4. They still have all 4 members of their team alive. They are looking like the king of the hill from this occasion at now, but again, they could very well be contested, because you talk about Knockout, they are still here. Knockout has the information down towards BFM, but they're also giving away information towards ESN as well, and ESN in the back end could probably retaliate from that, but right now, BFM is in a bit of a trouble, where C4 is also bringing in a lot of tears, and Team C4, Akib also down, Ahmed also down, Gulfam also down, only 1 man remaining. King of the hill not for long indeed for the side of C4, and it is ESN that could probably bring in domination from the other hill.
Well, definitely we do have the winner chicken dinner forecast in front of us. Knockout with the highest probability, followed by North Esports, ESN on the 3rd, and Magnus on the 4th. Magnus in some trouble. All right, so C4 are out of the match, ladies and gentlemen. We are down to 5 teams, 14 players still surviving. ESN, as Lakshay Yusuf wonderfully said, they look like are headed to the chicken dinner. They are on the edge, on the southern edge of the circle right now, with absolutely no one to contest their position. Absar with a nade from Team KO tossed towards the players of Magnus is trying to see if he can take them out, but they have ample amount of cover to protect them, so they're not going to worry about that too much. Although ESN, all right, so from across the terrain comes some shots from the guns of Avenger OP, and he has spotted out the entire team of ESN.
Wow, that is just perfect play coming in from this lad Avenger OP of North Esports, and indeed they are contesting for the position that ESN is showcasing as of now. They are on the other hill, so is the other team, ESN and NES, right in front of each other, and on top of them is going to be C4 Ahmed and the other player Mustafa, I believe it was, which is going to be quite an interesting turn of events if C4 is going to be able to convert that into their position. But Knockout is back in the fight. Knockout bringing in, and what a play this is. C4 utilizing that position. Ahmed right here going to be pushing on down towards the side of C4, and Knockout also. Knockout's dead bring perfect for the side, and this is going to be quite a perfect control for this is the end perhaps for NES.
Well, this is definitely going to be the end. We're going to find out in a few short moments. Amer, it all depends on him. It all comes down on him. If he can survive, he can take his team even further, get some few more points, in fact, for them. All right, so I was wrong. C4 is still surviving, and North Esports are the ones who get eliminated. C4, 2 players are still there. Mustafa and Ahmed are still fighting it out. Down to 3 teams, ladies and gentlemen. NES also being taken out. So it's between Knockout, Esports Nation, and C4 Gaming to see actually who gets the chicken dinner. C4 with the high ground advantage to them. The circle, the blue zone is coming in, and we're going to have the next circle. KO, they are trying to get the high ground advantage. ESN are stuck on the low ground for now, because from one side you have to deal with KO, on the other side you have to deal with C4, and it is going to be, well, there is no right answer in this situation for ESN, basically.
Absolutely. This is looking like a 3v2v1 situation from the looks of it. Or no, it is a 3v3v2 situation where ESN is very, very fanned out from the looks of it. Khan and Hassan are in two separate situations altogether for themselves. And Knockout is all clustered up right against each other together. And that is going to be pretty big situation. Well, again, C4 bringing in perfect domination right here from Ahmed, has been able to knock down one player. That is going to be Dhanveer from the side of Knockout, and eventually that knockout could very well be confirmed into a kill from the side of C4, and not only just one kill, but in fact could be troublesome for Knockout. Is again two players altogether as that revival was trying to be brought in, and yep, that is confirmed. That is just perfect aggression from Ahmed, and he just confirms that kill into two, and going to bring that Knockout team down to one man remaining.
They have 16 kills, the team of C4.
Not even one.
Wow. They have 16 kills. Ahmed has 7 on himself. He's going to come across Khan. The shots come in, but no! Oh my god, perfect play from Khan. He takes down Ahmed. Now it's going to be up to Khan. Can he take down 1-1? What just happened? 16 kills? What are you talking about? It doesn't matter if you have 16 kills. What matters is that ESN, they have taken themselves a chicken dinner.
What a perfect play coming in from this lad of Esports Nation. Indeed, with 11 kills and 1,472 damage given out throughout the game. This was just perfect, controlled, passive play from the side of Esports Nation. And indeed, that is confirming them a perfect chicken dinner with 26 points.
Hey, I said a couple of seconds ago, ESN, they are stuck on the low ground. They don't have right answers to the situation they are in. And they have made me eat my words a couple of moments later. An amazing performance, as you said. Just stay back, stay hidden, let the two teams fight it out. And when they least suspect you, kill them.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what he did. With that, he brought in that perfect kill and then moved away from that position to be able to just capitalize on that third part. Perfect play coming in from ESN, and in that, of course, we do have the MVP to talk about. So let's, of course, move on towards the most valuable player, and that is going to be C4's Ahmed with 7 kills, 906 damage, 2 assists, and healing done only of 259. But move that conversation away from that towards, wow, I mean, wow, what a play. 16 kills, dude.
I mean, definitely. 16 kills to the team. Ahmed had an amazing performance, but I'm pretty sure my man Khan is going to be in the top players list.
Absolutely ought to be. And
he's not. He's
Isn't.
not. Oh my god, I'm so wrong right now. But Hassan is there from Esports Nation, so I'm happy about that.
Absolutely, and that is of course going to be a perfect play from C4 side as well as of course ESN and ARC, because again ARC was requiring that perfect play with 5 kills in only matter of 10 minutes is phenomenal from the side of Tala, and that is of course going to be GG for the side of Arcadians, because they needed that. They needed that sort of a gameplay. Move that. I mean, of course that is going to reflect back onto the ranking itself, because that is what is this all leading towards.
Definitely, and it is going to reflect on the ranking. See, Arcadians, they have 9 points from this match, 1 for placement and 8 for the kills. But the way Arcadians started out, like from the form that the players were in, they could have very well finished a lot higher, gotten a lot more kills. They were feeling confident in the early stages, and that is also the thing that got them killed.
Yep. That is true, and with that 4v4 situation that they were stuck in, it was just massive blow to their to that aggression that they brought. But with that, Hellraisers once again not being able to raise the hell that they were born to do, perhaps in the game of PUBG Mobile, have not been able to do so thus far, and with that, their dreams are certainly going to get shattered.
I had huge expectations from Hellraisers. I mean, I've been seeing them for quite a long time, and it is a good team. It is a good couple of lads, but I guess the level of competition this time around is just a little bit higher.
It certainly is, no conversation about that. But with that, of course, I do want to go through the best Oppo moments right here, because they were just phenomenal, one after the other. Within 2 minutes, we had 3 teams or 2 teams being sent back into the lobby. Just GG play.
Yeah, it was GG plays indeed. And talking about those earlier, the aggression, half of the teams were sent back to the lobby by these guys, Arcadians. So this was the final successful fight that they took, and then they come up against the players of C4, who were on a high of their own in terms of momentum. And it was Ahmed actually who started it all, finishing off the Arcadians. So Arcadians, I mean, they were playing it perfectly. Every single advantageous fight they had, they took in their favor. That's the problem. You can't fight 4v4 out in the open. You have to back off. But then we come to this situation wherein NES, they were taken down by getting sandwiched by ESN and Star.
Absolutely, and with that, we move the conversation towards ESN and NES on 2 different hills, taking each other out or trying to do so, retaliating against each other's aggression. But it was C4 that was able to dominate within that aggression indeed, and there was just 2 lads of C4 who were just able to convert that fight. But eventually, ESN did come up from the other hill and bring those players down on C4 with beautiful grace and massive kills.
Yeah, massive amount of kills. And I mean, the iconic moment was when Khan was charging in on the player of C4. He went 75 to 0 so fast. I don't think even he realized how that happened.
Wow, what a play. With that, of course, let's also have a look at the overall. Indeed, when you talk about the overall, you are going to have to focus on the teams that played the games, and it is Magnus completing their 12 games with 148 points for now.
Yeah, Magnus North Esports, they have pretty much secured themselves. So have C4 and ESN. I mean, look at that, 121, 119. Then we have Portal Esports, who are yet to play their matches on 110 points.
Oh yes, that is the competition. That is going to be a genuine competition with only 8 games, getting 2 chicken dinners, and with 110 points. That is of course going to be a massive play and blow to the lobby, as PES is going to come in tomorrow. But talk about Arcadians, I mean, that wonderful play right off the bat has brought them in the top 16, and that result has given them 75 points as of now. But move that towards the side of Team TUF as well as Team GHAZI. Now, Team GHAZI has 91 points, but Team TUF has only played 8 games, so they are also going to be a contestation for tomorrow's games. And in that, this is where the list kind of dies out, because all the teams that we are looking at now from this moment onwards are going to have to lose the dream. For example, Expendables, for example, in Mikkels, they have played all 12 matches, are nowhere close to the top 16. And again, all the other teams that we're looking at, they still have those 4 games remaining for them.
Well, definitely the matches are left, but teams like Freestyle, teams like H2E, Zorar Esports, I would love to see them move on, because I mean, Freestyle, talking about them, the name that made it to the World League, not exactly the same roster, but it is the name that counts, it is the weight that the name counts. Hellraisers, quite unfortunate, 39 points, 25 positions, so really far away from the line that they had to cross. Same goes for Lost Esports and Team Stoners.
Absolutely, and that is going to be detrimental for, of course, the journey started off 5 days ago, and the idea was to go on towards PMPL Season 3.
Yeah.
But eventually that journey does fade away in the limelight, as well as the grind that they showcased in the previous 5 days. With that, let's talk about the kill leaders that are going to be just massive throughout today's games.
So Adil is there sitting on the first position, 27 kills in total and 5,161 damage to him. And then we have Ahmed from Team C4 with 24 kills. He had 7 kills in this game.
Yep.
So, like, putting up a huge chunk and just taking a bounce in terms of the list of kill leaders in this match.
Absolutely, and Hassan right there on number 3 with the 3,300 damage being showcased all across the lobby. So beautiful plays coming in all across the board, but indeed now they have finished that perfect play. It is of course Magnus looking really strong. Arcadians, having had a wonderful run, are in the top 16, but now it is going to be the other teams that are going to have to of course showcase that wonderful prowess tomorrow. With that, let's have a look at team card of this team. That is going to be phenomenal, because again, Magnus is on top, but the way they reach that top is through these massive numbers.
Yeah, and I mean, Magnus, one thing is pretty consistent, right? They might not have the highest survival times of all, but Magnus, the players make sure they are going out with those kills. I mean, look at the KPMs, 1.5, 1.42, 2.25, which is actually pretty high in a competitive standing. So Magnus just getting those kill points for them was really important, and I think that is going to be the reason that they actually make it to the finals with a really comfortable stance, and I think they might be one of the favorites in the finals.
Perhaps true, but tomorrow again we are of course going to be looking at Group B and Group D going against each other, where indeed you've got PES having played only 8 games. They are still in the top 8 right now. After they're going to complete the 4 games tomorrow, we will of course have to see what they bring to the table. With that, thank you so very much for tuning in. We do reach the end of day number 5. Until tomorrow, take care, stay awesome, bye bye.
Because you're everything I need. get it.